Kidster, Kid Rock, you can tell us what's with the get up.
Well, hello. I'm Matt. Welcome to the good life. I do a little radio show from my backyard in the hills of Encino. I'm a lucky guy. In fact, I'd say luckier than most. I have lots of friends that I like to call stars. Hey, in fact, there's one now. You probably know Ryan Stiles, Drew Carey Show. Whose line is it anyway? Black Hawk Down?
I wasn't in Black Hawk Down, Matt. That wasn't me, okay? What are you doing here?
The gate was actually open. I thought I'd take a little jacuzzi-roo.
I got company coming over, okay? People that matter, okay? Get up, go.
Bubbles feel so good,
Look,
Brian.
Matt, you know what? You gotta stop doing this, okay? I can't be coming home with the wife and kids and you're in my tub, okay? Just get out.
I'm not wearing nothing.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yes, he just passed out.
Yeah.
Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
Had to lighten them up loud. Oh, man. We're here with Matt. Oh, yeah. Had to lighten them. Oh, little Outlaw Radio. We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
Well, look at this. It's April already, and I don't have a date for the prom. Oh, day. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, my friendlies. Matching Matt's Outlaw Radio. In a few minutes, we'll discuss the wardrobe, the attire of Kid Rock. But first, little faux pas. Last week on the show, we did a little after show making of a true and genuine Wisconsin old-fashioned, I thought. But in our drunken stupor, you know, after over 3 hours on this show, drinking high-caliber whiskey, I may have forgotten an ingredient. Beth and Champini. Beth and Tony from Wassa sort of enlightened me of this fact, and we sort of discovered it together. We were on the phone after the show on Sunday a week ago, and what did I miss, Beth, from Wassa?
You missed the sugar cube.
Yeah, she's a little loud there. Yeah, and but didn't I noticed that, and I mentioned it to you, and you said yes. We were going to bring that up. The most important part of this, well, all of the ingredients.
Somebody mentioned it.
Yeah, using brandy.
Right, when we were outside, somebody mentioned the sugar cube.
You use brandy in a Wisconsin old-fashioned, but the main thing, and so as we're sipping these, we're thinking, boy, this is really strong.
It was still good.
Yeah, but
by the end of the drink, I was feeling nothing.
Well, that's sort of the intent of the Wisconsin old-fashioned.
Booze in there, but that's how me and Tony like them. But that's, we're professionals.
Yeah, but you do use a sugar cube in there, laden with this stuff. I'll show it to those of you watching us on YouTube, on Rumble, and on X. It's this special brand of Maru. How do you pronounce this bitter? Do you know?
No, you're asking the wrong person.
Maru-
You got it in front of you. Can't you read?
Oh, you son of a... You know what? Listen,
Love you, Beth.
Beth, you sent it to me, so I would assume, and it's made there in Wisconsin, Moruvavi bitters from Northern Waters, and it looks just like this. And this is the greatest smoky bitters you can grab your...
More you Rav.
Yeah, more you Rav have that. But it's great stuff, and you need to laden that sugar cube with that, and then you pour a little lemony soda on the top of the whole thing, and that is a Wisconsin old-fashioned. And thank you for, yes, Beth?
There's a couple other things. Yeah, this other, and not to call you out that you did something wrong.
Oh,
but
no.
But he did.
That was like a too big of an orange slice in there on the bottom, and you should have a cherry to throw on the bottom. And when you muddle it, you don't use a pen.
Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
that's true. That's true. I will address the
Hey, the ink was not bad, Beth.
yeah, the ink added a little flavor to that old-fashioned.
And color. It got a lot darker.
Yeah, I will. I do have something to say about the muddler in about 25 minutes with another guest from beautiful Wisconsin. Tony and Beth, I love you two dearly, and continue doing whatever it is you're doing, which I'm assuming probably drinking right now while enjoying Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Well, absolutely. That's what we're doing. So
Kettle Lovely.
I know the rest of the show won't be as good as the opening, but we'll
You're right.
Yeah, they are characters. I love you, Beth. I love Tony. Give Tony my best.
Love you guys.
You bet.
He's
Love you guys.
he's always
I'll
the dude.
untie him now.
He's always the dude in the background. You see,
I love it.
Yeah,
Well, he's a husband.
yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
But
like I said, I'll untie him now. I'll take the ball out.
all right, okay. Nice chatting with you. It was like talking to Mom and Dad last night. Dad is always
Yeah.
way in the background. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because ladies, females like to gab.
Yeah.
They like they're loquacious. They're the loquacious sort.
Mom was in a good mood last night. We had a good conversation for about an hour, you and I and Mom and Dad.
Can't you hear that? Mark's mic is up too loud, or he's talking into it too closely.
But they insist they are great listeners.
Yeah, who's
Women.
Oh yeah, they're not listeners.
No.
They want to hear, and they don't want an answer to whatever question, whatever
No,
problem they're
no,
going
no.
through. If you come up with a solution, then it's the end of the conversation. So the solution is de facto the wrong thing that they're looking for. Did I mention it's April and I still don't have a date for the prom? Yeah, but with all my monikers, Magic Matt, Matthew Allen, Mr. Cigar, I do get more votes for Homecoming Queen. Popeyes has a pickled flavored lemonade. Have you heard
Yes,
about this?
yes.
Have you tried it?
I have not, but a very close friend of mine called me, told me about it, and said we need to go there and add tequila.
Yeah, you got to add something because I can't imagine pickle brine in a lemonade would be a
I love
positive.
pickles.
Oh, I love pickles.
I think they're doing a whole pickle thing, though. It's
Yeah,
like
they
pickles
are.
this, pickle that.
And eggs are so stinking expensive. To save money this year, instead of hiding Easter eggs, parents are hiding Rolex watches.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, because they're eggs, even though they've come down in most parts of the country, and they've even come down here in California, so they're only $8 a dozen
Yeah.
now. But everywhere else, it's like $2.50, $2.67, but not here in the good old, the formerly great Golden State of California. By the way, less government jobs, more private sector jobs. That's what Trump is doing. In a nutshell, that's it. That's what we want. And less government jobs, that's a good thing. I said this about a year ago on the show, before any of this came out, before the Orange Man was voted in. Thank God for that. And it's as simple as too many government workers. We are so over-governmented, and I think I said at that time we could get rid of 2/3, at the very least half of these government employees.
By the way, people,
They're the largest employers in the United States. 2 million federal workers, not counting the military.
Isn't that ridiculous?
why?
And I watch a lot of videos with folks going in with video cameras in these government shops. Whether it be a school
Post
or
office.
any municipality, a post office, and way too many people doing nothing. And this hit me about a year ago. Cut these jobs. Well, you're not being very nice. No, it's being pragmatic for the Americans that really do work. But we have all of these folks that are doing absolutely nothing.
And by the way, people,
Have you been to a DMV lately? Most of them are sitting in the back drinking their
No.
friggin' Joe.
they're on their phones.
Yeah, they're on their phones and doing jack.
By the way,
yes.
DMV, they make their own rules over there.
Yeah, of course they do.
They really do. If you're nice to them and they use kid gloves, they'll take care of you. They can even cheat a little bit for you.
Mark, that's any government worker.
If you're
you
rude
kiss
to
their
them,
ass, yeah.
They'll get out.
Which, by the way, we pay their salary, and you need to remind them of that. Yes.
I just go in and slip them $10. I get what I want.
Yeah.
Wow, a whole $10.
That's it.
Is that all it
Big
takes?
spender.
Well, yeah. And then, has anyone seen this Valentino TV ad? Because it's playing over and over, and it features a bunch of freaky a-holes in this thing, and sort of dark, and if you look freaky, then you're in this ad, and then it ends with a giant rabbit head right in our faces. It's
God.
and I don't
never
get it.
saw it.
And it's Valentino. I don't even know what they're selling. I have no idea what they're selling. But they do get an award for being quirky and freaky and weird. But it seems like the train pulled out for that type of ad when Donald Trump was elected president. And
It's men's cologne, I think.
oh, is it?
That's what I think.
It could be a whole line of crap from Valentino.
Dude, I saw, advertising-wise, this just came to mind. There's huge billboards. If you're on the 5 freeway, it's called the Citadel and all that stuff over there off the 5 by Disneyland.
It's
before
Commerce.
Disneyland.
It's Commerce.
Commerce.
It's right next to Commerce.
So driving down
That's not near Disneyland.
those huge,
Not even close.
Those huge. I work out there. It's about 20
Come on,
minutes.
just go.
Anyway, huge billboards, with just thanks for distracting me.
No, Commerce
with
is
like
in LA.
with like
What are on the billboards? Just break it down.
they have a woman like dressed in some really hot clothes, whatever. Well, there's
Yeah.
a guy
Uh-huh.
in this one. It only lasted for 2 days. I'm surprised that they stayed up that long because I was going, "Am I seeing this correctly?" Underwear, but you could see everything
Oh, really?
in
The
his
outline?
front.
Yeah.
Everything.
And you were turned on?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
By the way, it's not even 20 minutes. I work out there. LA County is.
It's Commerce, and
Yes,
Anaheim's
no.
about 20
I
miles
work
from
out there, bro.
Who cares?
Disneyland is in Orange
Nobody in the country gives an S where Commerce is
They do,
in
apparently.
relation to Disneyland.
These a-holes do.
Fast fact, my friends, it is illegal to run into a crowded movie theater and yell Snow White. So, it is,
Well, who would hear you?
yeah, no one. No one.
That's
I'll tell you who would hear it. Rachel Zegler. Man, what an imbecile. Oh, I hope she never gets another gig again. And I don't wish bad things on good people, which is why I hope she never gets another gig again. 67-year-old actress Fran Drescher, the one with that beautiful voice, says she has a rotation of friends with benefits.
Yes.
Nice.
She's Randy.
I'm sorry. Yes.
totally. She always had it.
Not only that, she likes a lot of sex.
She was in Spinal Tap. She's one of my favorite characters in Spinal Tap.
Yeah, not much is known about the men except that they're all deaf and blind. So you see that. And President Donald Trump yesterday posted a video on his social media accounts of a U.S. military strike against Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen who've been targeting American ships in the Red Sea. And the quote is, these Houthis gathered for instructions on an attack. Oops, there will be no attack by these Houthis. They will never sink our ships again, President Trump posted.
Hello.
Oops.
To circle back to Fran Drescher,
Yeah.
she was married 17 years to this dude and was shocked to find out he was gay.
Oh, okay, that's that. Is that right?
Yeah.
So he performed enough of his duties where she didn't know.
She was shocked when he left her for another man.
As a woman, you gots to know. I mean, you gots
Yeah,
to
it
know.
would seem that
It
way.
was his fashion sense that should have been the first kid.
But then is Kid Rock gay? I mean, see,
Kid Rock always was dressed crazy.
they're in
in
love.
show.
Whether he's always dressed crazy as hell, does that make him gay? I don't
No.
think so. Not necessarily.
Liberace dressed that way.
All right. Meanwhile, Democrats have claimed without evidence that Trump.
Freddie Mercury dressed a little flamboyant.
Who?
Freddie Mercury, and he wasn't gay. What?
Meanwhile, Democrats have claimed without evidence that Trump bombed a tribal meeting of civilians. A district court judge has ordered Trump to unbomb the Houthis tomorrow. So,
Unbomb.
yeah, that would be...
I'm not buying any more of their albums.
the Houthis?
Yeah.
Reminder, speaking of that, reminder to our viewers and listeners here on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and the finest stations across the country. And, of course, you enjoying us in Yemen. Coming up, we will have your chance to win front row tickets to see Houthis and the Blowfish. So, yeah, just coming up in a minute. And meanwhile, thousands in Spain are protesting over the soaring cost of paella. They're really...
That sucks.
Oh, they're up in arms. They are really freaking out. So Kamala Harris, she's at it again. I swear to God, she thinks she has a chance to win the presidency. You know, it's either that or governor, but I think, she might as well go for the big stuff, even though De Niro told her years ago.
No big stuff. I told you that already.
Yeah, no big stuff.
No big stuff.
Yeah, she, a crushing election loss. It wasn't even close. Kamala Harris spoke at a women's event to showcase her hate for President Trump, and like all females, couldn't resist an I told you so moment. It went like this. And it went like this. All you got to do, Dave, is just follow
on the
along.
phone.
Just follow along with the show. That's all. That's all I ask.
He was on the phone.
Just follow along.
He was so enthralled with the show, he forgot where he was at.
Yeah, that must have been it.
I was dealing with something. All right, goes like this.
We are seeing organizations stay quiet. We are seeing those who are capitulating to clearly unconstitutional threats. And these are the things that we are witnessing each day in these last few months in our country. And it understandably creates a great sense of fear. Because, there were many things that we knew would happen. Many things. I'm not here, so I told you so.
Oh, God, I'm not going to tell you. Whoa. Whoa. Wow. Wow. Listen to that crowd go wild. Yes.
Was this at The View?
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? The audience at The View. Hey, speaking of monkeys flinging poo, Kamala said this about Africa.
You were approached because they were going to do a Brady Bunch reboot.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Why?
This was after we did the HGTV show.
Yes.
Where we rebuilt the house.
What is this?
And that was like...
Is that 150?
Considering you put 160, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's 150.
Here we go.
Very excited about the future of Africa. I'm very excited about the impact of the future of Africa on the rest of the world, including the United States of America.
There are a number of things on the issue of the economy as a whole that we must do. And a lot of that work is the work that I'm here to do on the continent.
Did Kamala say as a whole? Okay. I just wanted to recheck.
She's not going to stop, is she?
No.
She loves that fame. She loves that power.
She tasted the power. She tasted the possibility, because there are possibilities that are possible, as Kamala Harris might say. Now let's dive into the popular TV show, Who's Violent Anyway? A Prove Me Wrong Turning Point USA event featuring Brandon Tatum, who I tried to get on the show about a year ago when he still had a radio show, because it seemed like I wanted to show him some love, because I knew that show, that terrestrial radio show, was destined to go by the way of the dodo bird, and it did. But I like the guy. I like the guy. He was a cop in Arizona, and he has a ton of viewers. Well, he's doing one of these Prove Me Wrong Turning Point USA events at the University of California, UC Davis, of all places. My daughter went there for a time as well. Yikes. And the one thing I told her is don't let any of the professors know of your political views.
No.
See, my daughter's on the right. And I said, whatever you do, Yes, sir, Mr. Professor. Whatever you say. Donald Trump is an idiot, and I hate the Republicans. Just go with that, get an A, and move on. The event was completely destroyed by violent protesters. Conservative student organization, who is this? It doesn't matter the name. I guess it does to them. But said that they completely just ripped apart this event. And there's video footage of this incident. They stole the canopy, ripped down banners, smashed foam boards, and even tried to steal the iPad and laptop of a TPUSA student. TPS USA students were shoved, had objects thrown at them, while police did nothing there on the campus. Turning Point USA added, only after the damage was done did law enforcement finally form a perimeter, and this is the reality of free speech on campuses. In the video, protesters dressed all in black, carrying a large banner that read ACAB, which stands for All Cops Are Bastards. Nice. It seems as though the police officers there would understand what that means and go after them. But, of course, they have been the dictator in charge. Whoever gives them their walking or running orders said don't engage. Right, Ralph?
Their hands are tied.
Yeah?
Maybe the police chief is Italian and taught him how to run away.
No, is that what the Italians do?
Well,
yeah, I know. Notably, the event's guest speaker, Brandon Tatum, a TPS USA contributor, popular YouTuber, is also a former police officer and, did I mention, a former radio talk show host. Should have come on our show, Brandon. We wouldn't have hurt you. Additional, and there were so many excuses, too. I had to go through his assistant. It was like he was big-timing me, and I'm thinking, you're a cop from Arizona. I mean, Phoenix. Arizona. I think Phoenix. It's like, why? How is this guy big-timing me? And then he said, well, maybe we can fit you in. And I'm thinking, no, it's got to be a Saturday. And then, well, Brandon's out of town. And so I said, are there cell phones wherever he is? You know, a little cell phoner?
You should have big-timed him back and had him call Billy Dilly to make arrangements.
Billy Dilly, our TPUSA barbecue.
Let me see, Matt. Let's see if we can fit you in somewhere.
Anyway, I like the guy. Additional video footage shows protesters chanting "Antifascista," anti, as they further destroyed the Turning Point USA set on campus. In another video, a protester can be heard shouting, "Get out of the way, bitch," at a TPUSA supporter. They are so kind. These on the left, these woke lefties, they really are sweet. Yeah. An Antifa group is seen snatching the conservative sign and then hitting her on the back of the head. But they're not violent. No, the Antifa has vandalized the TPUSA tabling event featuring, destroying our camera gear tent. And Charlie Kirk declared this on Thursday on an X post. We're extremely lucky no one was seriously injured in the melee. While our people are under attack, police stood aside and did nothing. Our team is understandably shaken up, but they assure us they will not back down. Of course they won't, because we're on the right, and we're for good, and we're for doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. What we have is a pattern with no signs of improvement. This has gone on long enough. Violent vigilantes. Who are the violent types? Who does this? Is it us? Or is it them?
Even though you'd like to beat some of them in the back of the head with signs, you won't do it.
Oh my God! Just the business end in the mouth. Oh man! A Shevitz.
It's like what do you?
It's like, remember Gwen? I forget his first name, but N. Gwen, and he had the ass kicked out of him in Portland, I think.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Minding his own business, and the guy's a gay guy, a
gay Asian. He's got everything going against him.
Yes.
A Gaysian?
And more of who's violent anyway. A Catholic pro-life activist was violently struck in the face 2 days ago while conducting a video interview in New York City. Savannah Craven Anteo was interviewing a pro-abortion individual who became enraged during the conversation and attacked Anteo, punching her in the face, according to the pro-life group Live Action. Anteo was working... No, we're not going yet. Just hang in there. And Teo was working with Live Action as a pro-life reporter when the attack happened. Live Action shared footage of the assault, and Live Action president Leela Rose shared a picture of there. And I saw the picture, just blood streaming down her face.
Yeah, it was the Bronx.
That's who.
I know they said New York City, but it's the Bronx.
Yeah, that's who these people are.
How close is that to Disneyland?
It's real close to the
It
commerce.
is Disneyland in the Bronx, trust me.
Yeah, and Stephen Colbert begs the deep state. I'll get into Stephen in just a second. And
He's such an idiot.
and speaking of Stephen, we have a Stephen from Wisconsin that we will grab next. And I have sort of a religious experience to share with Stephen Abbott, our buddy, our dive bar hunter in beautiful Wisconsin, when we return on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Like the legend of the Phoenix, all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. Look. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get lucky.
The staccato hoofbeats of a golden palomino, carrying a man who fights wherever justice needs a champion. In a hideaway on the other side of the hill, with Hollywood close enough to smell, one man dared to step up to the bar and talk. And other outlaws heard the legend and joined together to tell their tales. This is how it began. Smoking, drinking, interrupting. Magic Matt Allen. This is Outlaw Radio.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All righty. Minding my own business last Sunday, after we made the imperfect Wisconsin Old Fashioned on the show the day prior, I decided to do it properly on a little Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon get-together with me, myself, and I. You know, there was a time when I did not drink alone. Was there ever a time in your life, Ralph Odierna?
No, there's always a bartender.
Yeah, you. Yeah.
I actually drink every Sunday by myself with a cigar, reading a book.
It's a great thing, and I'm assuming you're enjoying a high-caliber bourbon.
That's all I drink. Man.
Yeah.
That's why I was shocked when you said high caliber bourbon last week, because I wasn't here.
Yeah, I know. And how did that happen?
I'm not sure.
It didn't.
It didn't. Right. No, that we were enjoying the beautiful old fashions from Wisconsin
With Jim and the tequila.
made imperfectly. But I will tell you this because I forgot the sugar cube, which you need a sugar cube. But what do you call this thing, everyone?
It's a muddler.
Yes, I'm showing this to the audience. Watching us on YouTube, on Rumble, and
On
on
Newport,
X.
it's something else, but otherwise it's.
I used a Bic pen.
It's a small baseball bat.
Yeah, in lieu of, it's one of those special bats where it has the sweet spot there. Yeah. Next to the fleshy area.
It's all the hype right now.
Now, that Sunday, I decided to make one of these, and I grabbed the sugar cube, I threw it in the glass, and then I realized, I do have a muddler in the kitchen. I walked into the kitchen, and there is a small Amazon package. This truly happened. I opened the package before I went and searched for the muddler. In that package was this muddler. I went into the kitchen.
AI is amazing.
Searching for a muddler, and in that package was a muddler, thanks to, I'm assuming, because there was no note in that package, thanks to this man, our buddy in Wisconsin, Steve Abbott. It was you, was it not?
Well, you keep on talking about buying me a bourbon. I figured I'd mail you a muddler before the Polish posse of Portage County found out that you were creating crimes against alcohol in the name of brandy old-fashioned sweet and not using a muddler. I did it for your own protection.
Yeah. But don't you find this almost a religious experience? I'm walking in at that time, and I notice the package on the counter. I rip open the counter, and there, lo and behold, God works in mysterious ways, is a muddler sent me by the great Steve Abbott, our dive bar hunter in Wisconsin. And that's an honest-to-God true story. I'm not making any part of this up.
Except that you ripped up the counter.
Say what?
It also
you just faux pas. You said I ripped up the counter and there was a muddler.
It also serves. It also doubles for a billy club. If you hit a guy enough, a lot of times with that on the face, it might hurt him.
Yeah,
it'll muddle his face.
Yeah, it'll work against it. So, Steve Abbott, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my bottom and the bottom of my heart. Another reason for those of you naysayers to believe in God. It is an odd thing, but it is.
God helps you with your drinks.
It is beyond serendipitous that thing would be sitting there at that specific moment when
weird.
I am looking for a muddler and I decide to open up that package first. Hey, Steve, somehow we are intertwined religiously. How about that, Steve?
Well, it could be that, or I was just screaming at my laptop going, pen, no. Like, wait a minute, I got Amazon Prime. I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
He used a pen. He really, truly used a freaking pen, man.
Yes, I used a pen, a ballpoint pen to muddle the Drake.
And he didn't even use the butt end. He used the pointy end.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, love you dearly, man. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. And where are you heading off to? He's one of our great truckers in the good old USA.
Well, I'm home for this weekend. I could have went racing down in Virginia, but I'm not leaving out till Friday to haul some Trans Am cars out to your state. I'll be out there, Sonoma, for a couple 3 weeks, and then for Laguna Seca, and I'll be playing with race cars and whatever.
Dude,
and then
drop
come back, and then
drop off some Trans Ams over here, bro.
Yeah, feel free.
Hey, Steve, in the great state of Wisconsin, have you ever been to a dive bar in Milwaukee called Shakers?
No, but it sounds like it needs to go on the list.
It's a Al Capone previous brothel that they turned into a cigar bar and dive bar.
Sign me up, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what?
If you're ever in Milwaukee, I suggest Tompkins Bar, Tompkins. Tompkins Bar is just right over there by the State Fairgrounds.
He knows them, man.
Buffalo Sings the Blues, wing sauce, wings. It's incredible. It's great.
Okay,
Milwaukee.
Before we let Steve Abbott go, what happened with the vote the other day? What the hell happened with that? I mean, I didn't think we'd win, and I have my own theory, which is dip asses around the college towns.
No, it's people have jobs and they don't go out for special elections.
Yeah,
the working folks didn't vote.
Yeah.
True.
You want my gut on this?
Yes, go. You're there.
Well, there's three things, but two of the biggest ones is one, people in Wisconsin especially do not like money tossed around or to be bought. We are some of the cheapest when it comes to giving money to charity, but we are some of the most when it comes to giving stuff in our lives or our time. When Elon came into town and started, or the state, he basically rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because this is a very up and down, moody state.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that I don't even think I got one Crawford text, but I got a ton for Schimmel. But I got him at the oddest hours. I got him at like 7:30 on a Saturday morning. I got him at like 9:30 on a Sunday night.
Right.
I got him at these really weird hours, and I honestly, the Lord, think that what they were doing, I don't think those were the Schimmel people pushing it. I was legitimately thinking, because there was one gentleman that called in on one of your affiliates, of course, the great WSAU on the Meg Ellison show, but Schneider was co-hosting, and I called in a couple days ago, and one guy goes, I didn't go because I got all these texts, He goes, I had 30 people said I got all these things. They reverse psychology.
Interesting. And so they may have been doing that to piss everyone off.
Yep.
And the fact is, but hold on, Steve. I buy your theory on Elon and this backlash. Knowing the people of Wisconsin, they may have said, "Yeah, screw you, billionaires, and your money. You're not buying us."
Yep. And even that was with me. I had a couple friends that are very conservative, and I'm like, I don't want his money. If I'm going to go do it, I'm going to go do it because I want to go do it. Wow, I had already early absentee voted, but when I started getting bombarded with those texts at odd hours and odd days in the weekend, it even turned me off.
See?
And I've voted in every election since I was 18 I could go to.
Wow.
Ralph said I'd take his money. You know what? I would.
I'd take anybody's money.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. I'll tell you, Ralph O'Dearn has proven that throughout the years.
I ain't proud.
Hey, Steve Abbott, I love you, buddy. I love you.
Back at you, brother. And you guys keep warm down there. It's balmy here. It's like 35 degrees and sunny.
It's only 80 here.
Yeah, we're suffering. The great Steve Abbott, my friends. Yeah, the great Steve Abbott, my friends. The great Steve. You've been here when I've mentioned this to my producer, right? That when I say goodbye, get rid of him. And Steve, it's not about getting rid of you. It's a vernacular in radio. You
don't let him linger because he's going to talk over you at the end.
Right, that's all.
It was like
hold on a second. I guess you don't realize that it was your brother talking. Steve Abbott was gone when you said the great Steve Abbott. He was gone.
Right. After being doing this my entire life, I don't know the difference between a phone call and my brother's voice.
Nobody cares how long you've been doing this.
By the way, both menacing. No, it's not about caring how long. It's
don't think
about
I just caught that?
It's about making a point. That's all.
I have a menacing voice, Ralph.
Thank you for leaving.
Whatever. Let's go to break.
Later.
Stephen Colbert begs the deep state to stop Trump, and he uses the word effing dying. See, the only thing dying, Stephen Colbert, is your ratings, my friend. Yeah. Stephen Colbert kicked off his late show monologue on Thursday by staring into the camera and pleading with the cabal of financial and government elites who pull all the strings behind the scenes to intervene as President Donald Trump announced reciprocal tariffs on a bevy of countries as part of his agenda to level the playing field for, as he said, American taxpayers who have been ripped off for more than 50 years.
And we're sick of it.
I don't think it's going to take a year. I think this is a matter of 6 weeks to 3 months for this to shake out. I really do. I think sooner rather than later. What's your vibe on this, Ralph O'Dearna?
Ford came out yesterday and said they're deep discounting all of their products except for the F-150 and the Raptor.
Yeah.
They have to play ball.
Yes.
To use Trump's vernacular, he has all the cards.
Yes, yeah. And he does. And we're the greatest consumer in the entire world of these products.
Right.
So do the right thing. And then China, of course, 35%. Wrong. But see, this is the great thing about Donald Trump being the great negotiator. He always has something in his back pocket.
Yes.
And he's thinking, if this happens, then that will happen. If this happens, that will happen. TikTok.
Well, here's the thing. China doesn't buy anything from us.
No.
They can put an 80% tariff.
Yes.
We buy from China.
Right.
The tariff hurts them more than it hurts us.
Of course it does. Democrats are losing it over these reciprocal tariffs, but how quickly they forget their previous stance on fair trade. Here's Nancy Pelosi in 1996 discussing China in particular.
It's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal? In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. The China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States, 170,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least. The fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser.
Okay, Nance, how could she forget saying that, you ask? How could Nancy Pelosi forget saying that in 1996.
Well, that was 30 years ago. She's senile now.
In Nancy Pelosi's defense, that was 29 years ago and 13 faces ago. Yeah. So
she sounded like she could actually talk or
So
something.
she was like 50 when she said it. So she was young.
Yeah, she was a youngster.
Made a lot of money.
And this dude, ex-assistant, says filmmaker Paul Schrader sexually assaulted her and backed out of a settlement deal. He was the writer of Taxi Driver.
Paul Schrader sexually abused Nancy Pelosi?
No, this is a different story. And director, he also directed American Gigolo. I believe it was Paul Schrader who also did a movie called The Light of Day, because I was there with Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett while Schrader was undressing me with his eyes. I knew I saw something. I knew. I saw. But he's been accused in a lawsuit of sexually assaulting his former personal assistant, firing her when she wouldn't acquiesce to advances, and then reneging on a settlement that was meant to keep the allegations confidential. Great lesson here, Paulie.
Write the check.
If you sexually assault, never renege on the settlement.
Pay him off.
Can you imagine? Your ass is now under fire. You now have a way out, and obviously, if there really was a sexual assault, you're a piece of crap, Paul Schrader. He was undressing me with his eyes.
Oh. Are you going to sue him?
But I am starting.
He won't pay you.
I'm starting to openly weep right now.
Yeah, you're Vaclep right now.
I know, because it hurts.
Russell Brand just got hit with a rape assault from 1999.
Yes. And so the first thing I thought of is that why he went all religious? Because he knew this was coming? Or, right? But once again, most of these allegations, I must tell you, a modicum of these allegations from females are just that,
26 years ago.
They want the money.
The fact that you can go back 26 years in time and accuse someone of some sort of sexual mispropriety, it scares the hell out of me.
Joe Biden can't remember what he did last week. Russell Brand's supposed to remember 26 years ago?
Doesn't it scare you a little bit, though, Ralph? A little bit? A little bit? Because it's not about the truth, man.
No, it's not.
And it certainly ain't about evidence. There ain't no evidence. Unless you kept the soil all these years?
And that doesn't prove anything.
No, it does not. We'll be this after back on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
stars, wannabes, and people who just want to hear themselves talk. The demons of decadence, smoking, drinking, and interrupting. Live from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar, this is Magic Matt Allen, Outlaw Radio.
Next hour will be a barn buster. Not only that, a lot of content that you will enjoy on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and the finest stations throughout the nation. What's up, what's up? In Green Bay and all the great towns. Home, Wisconsin, home of the largest number of dive bars in the nation. Now, if that ain't a credit to you folks, you Wisconsonites, love you. Coming up, a woke school forces girls to undress in front of not only boys, but teachers. And even a bad Liam Neeson movie is still good. I watched one last night, and it was sort of mediocre, but it was still good. And I say the same thing about anything from Jason Statham.
Yeah.
And Tattoo Dave, I watched his newest movie last weekend, and we'll get his take on that next hour.
Tattoo Dave has a new movie out?
He has
I
a
do.
brand
I
new
do.
movie with Jason Statham.
Oh, my show got canceled, so I had to do something.
Yeah. And Tim Waltz back at it. Oh, you can't
Tim.
You can't get enough of that piece of crap, man.
He is a man.
Oh, I would love to get into a cage match with that son of a bitch. That would be, and by the way, I would do it with my left hand tied. I really would. Left hand tied behind my back.
He was on some podcast, and out of nowhere, he says, and by the way, I'm not gay.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever said that?
Who says that?
No.
Who says that? Nobody says that. This comes in on, I have a feed on my email from a local thing called Newsbreak.
I got that.
It's really, so it's really liberal,
Yes,
right? It's
yes.
ultra liberal. And I thought about canceling at times, but then I thought, no, I like to see what these idiots are up
Get
to.
some content.
It's a good chuckle.
It is, because it's so left. It's so left. And they're sending it to us, Ralph, being here in Southern California, as though we're one of them, right?
Yeah.
As though they're feeding the left. Well, this one with the headline was USPS changes to mail delivery start in April, affect millions in California across U.S. Now, why is that being said to us? Because Trump bad, Doge bad. See what's happening? Chances are, coming to the United States Postal Service in April, and here we are in April, it'll affect millions of customers across the country. The moves are designed to improve efficiency and cut costs, but, the big but, some people might get certain mail slower. Some parts of the plan have already started with slowing down mail delivery because I guess, have they officially cut some of the employees yet? I mean, has that even happened yet?
I don't go to the post office.
Like, how could it get any? How could these DMV workers and these U.S. postal workers, those behind the desk, who take their sweet time and have long conversations with customers, a lot of old bastards come in there because it's the only time, once or twice a week, they have some sort of social
communication with
social event with anyone. So they'll. That's why the last time I was at a post office, I don't know, years ago, but it is unruly the fact that they are overemployed, too many people doing nothing.
Let me give you a great example.
Not to cut you off, Dave, but
Well, you did.
unfortunately-
Well, you did.
I know, that's why I said that. Unfortunately, he does run into a buzzsaw with the postal office because it is actually in the Constitution.
The U.S. Post Office.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I'll tell you what. I don't want to rewrite the Constitution, but the forefathers could never see that far ahead. I hate to use that argument.
Be careful, man.
And you were going to say,
Well,
Dave?
I was going to say I've become friendly with my postman.
Yeah.
And I talked to him. I sit on the porch smoking, usually around when he comes. And
All right.
today, well, the other day he came and I said, because he disappears for a couple of days. So these guys, not only are they overpaid, they get 2 days off every week. He disappears for 2 days. I'm like, where were you? He goes, well, they're my days off. I'm like, what do you mean your days off?
I get 2 days off.
And they're paid. They get paid days off. Then he said, I said, so, all right, see you later. He goes, oh, you might not see me for a while.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get on this 18-week federal jury duty.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, why would you want to do that? He goes, because they're going to pay me the whole time.
See, and that's Doge. It's a scam-a-llama ding-dong. Government workers. First of all, not to take anything away from our mailmen and women, but how tough can it be?
By the way, we have some hot male women around here. You ever notice that?
So do you mean women?
Yeah, the Latinos.
Or do you mean male women?
I said male. Oh, that's kind of that threw me off. Let me think about that for a minute.
Okay. All right. When we return, we'll jump into this Jason Statham movie and Tim Waltz. Oh, I have some beautiful Tim Waltz clips to share with you,
And how about-
Elon Musk's take on Tim Waltz. Plus, this Reagan homeless clip I played last week has garnered a lot of rave reviews. We'll play that again. All that and much less on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
On the street, I was talking to a man. He said there's so much, but there's nothing mine that I don't understand. You shouldn't worry, I said that ain't no crime. 'Cause if you get it wrong, you'll get it right next time.
rules.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
Hi, this is Sean Young on Outlaw Radio.
Hey, this is Shelley Berman on Outlaw Radio. Listen, come on, listen to me or listen to Matt. If you like being bored, it's great for you.
It's Robert Hayes. I'm here on Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, a.k.a. The Weasel. We are here to drink. We're here to smoke. We're here to interrupt. You may drink. You may smoke. You may interrupt, but I'm here to...
Live from the Lighten Up Lounge, this is Tom DeLuise saying, this is Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Chuck Woolery at Lighten Up Lounge on Outlaw Radio. Lots of fun, guys. Be back, 2 and 2.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio, where we smoke, we drink, and occasionally we bother people who look old and weak.
Hi, this is Rick Dees with Magic Matt, a.k.a. Mr. Cigar. In the Lighten Up Lounge, we drink, we smoke, we interrupt.
Welcome back, my friends and friendlies. Welcome back. Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. We are not bold enough yet to try the Popeyes pickled flavored lemonade.
Not Popeyes.
I just don't even know where to go with that
I wouldn't either.
because it is Popeyes.
No, it's not. It's Chick-fil-A. But thank you very much for playing.
Okay, $100 right now, live on the air. Go. $100 bet you're wrong. Let's go.
Okay.
You said okay? Is that yes?
I'm saying okay, whatever you say.
No. He's looking on his phone.
No, I'm not. My phone is out of my hand.
Oh, say that you accept the bet.
I was told that it was Chick-fil-A.
So do you accept the bet?
No.
I mean,
I've had just a little too many sips, but I'm pretty sure it's
started the
Chick-fil-A.
show
Then
with
how about
Popeyes
shut the old yapper when you don't know?
Marty, I was told you were outside. I want to fight today, so let's do it.
What is different with this day than any other
Right,
day?
you always wanna fight.
He always wants to
What
fight.
is this, Passover?
Mark, you don't have to get that close to the mic. Welcome back, my friends and my friendlies. No, we have not tried the Popeyes pickled flavored lemonade.
Chick-fil-A.
As of yet. Oh, Chick-fil-A?
Yep. It's KFC, actually. I didn't want to spill it, but it's
Hey,
KFC.
are you aware that it is illegal to run into a crowded movie theater and yell Snow White?
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is. It is completely illegal, so don't do that.
Okay.
I guess this, I read a little working man review, and it's another great Jason Statham who just hits the action sweet spot. And I guess he kills pretty much everyone.
How you do it.
And Tattoo Dave, our producer, was there with the always fun Mark C.G. Boyer.
Well, Mark Boyer's here today.
In the movie
He's
theater.
just sleeping in the corner.
Boy, between you and Dave, I don't know where to go with this. I mean, if you had somewhere to go with that.
Well, I
then-
could if you would have played along.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Okay. I see him over there.
Yeah, he's sleeping over there.
Why don't you shut up, Marty?
Yeah, how about that?
Shut your big yapper.
How about that? You know, when Dave's right, and it's very rare, he's right. Oh, man. Yeah.
That was funny radio right there.
So,
Screw you guys.
Oh, I love that. As the listener and the viewer says, no, it's not. No.
Well, then tune out.
They're shaking their heads.
They're
No.
just all sitting out there. When are these guys going to actually physically do at it?
What?
Do it.
Go
Do
at
it.
it.
The listener just hit a button.
No, you
and
need to
switched
shut up.
over.
Do at it.
Do at it.
Do
Go
at
at
it.
it. Go at it. Do at it. Whatever.
All right, Matt. Sorry, your train of thought was where?
Jason Statham, I guess he's killing everyone in this movie. On a scale of 1 to 10, Jason Statham movies, Dave was there with Mark C.G. Boyer in the theater a week ago.
Where's Mark now?
Where do you give that movie? Is it a scale of 1 to 10?
Solid 7.
Okay, yeah, which is, by the way, even the worst Jason Statham movie is still entertaining.
Yeah, well, listen, they all have similar themes, obviously.
You think?
But
You
this
killed
was
everyone?
basically a complete ripoff of Taken. I was almost going to say it when you were talking about Liam Neeson earlier.
Yeah.
It was basically the same movie.
Well, sometimes you have to do the same movie over and over. I mean, in fact, the Taken movies, that was done way before even Liam Neeson.
A friend of ours, he was executive producer on those movies.
So you take 2 cups of Taken, a tablespoon of John Wick, a dash of The Equalizer.
And don't forget the sugar cube.
Yep, and Jason Statham stirring the pot, a working man, I guess, hits the action sweet spot and then some. So it'll be, I'll be able to grab that on my smart TV probably within a week or two. Probably now.
I think more like an hour.
Yeah.
But it did top the box office that weekend.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that. And much like Statham, even a bad Liam Neeson movie, it's still good.
It's watchable, and you are drawn.
Speaking of Liam Neeson, no love for O.J. Simpson in the Naked Gun reboot trailer.
Oh.
Hollywood rebooting the famed comedy series The Naked Gun, but former NFL star and series cast member O.J. Simpson isn't getting any love in one new trailer.
How's he doing, OJ?
A buddy of mine asked me, why not my buddy Robert Hayes, who played Captain Stryker in Airplane 1 and 2, in the role of Frank Dresden in the Naked Gun movie? And I simply sent back, my response was, not menacing enough. And, you know, I would love if Robert Hayes starred in this movie.
I see what you're saying.
But he's too nice a guy.
Right, I see what
he's
you're
too
saying.
sweet a guy. Liam, I get it. And Robert Hayes knows comedy as well. But Liam Neeson has done some great comedy roles. He knows comedy. He has comedy chops. So I see him playing this part that Leslie Nielsen made famous. I bet he's going to kick ass in this thing. The trailer opens with Frank Drebin. Frank Drebin Jr.
It's the son. He's
the son stopping a bank robbery dressed as a little girl before moving onto a scene where some of the new characters speak to photos of their fathers who were past characters of the series. Neeson, who says hello to a portrait of Leslie Nielsen's Frank Drebin co-star Paul Walter Hauser, says hello to a portrait of his father, Captain Ed Hocken. But when it comes to the portrait of O.J. Simpson's Norberg,
nothing.
A police officer looks up, shakes his head, and says, Oh, ooh. Of course, Simpson, who was an integral part of the original TV series, some of the movies, later went on to become involved in, what was that thing that was? The murder case.
Murder,
Yeah, where he slashed the hell out of a couple innocent people. The trail of the century.
I just didn't know where he was going with that, and I was going to say murder, thinking it was funny, and that's where he was going.
Why are you laughing about a guy that slashed?
Marty, you shut up, Marty.
Because
he was Cato. It wasn't even
He was
OJ.
found not guilty by a jury of his peers.
The glove didn't fit, and we all know it was Cato.
Yeah, of course it was Cato. Comments were varied on the trailer, of course. Some felt the slap at OJ was a perfect jab. Most of the comments were they liked it. They thought it was pretty funny. It's no secret that failed vice presidential candidate Tim Walz is a boob. Who could forget? Is there an echo in here?
Yeah.
I didn't turn the effects on.
Let's harmonize that.
I noticed that. Who could forget when Tim Walz celebrated the collapse of Tesla stock?
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
He's a dip ass.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Tampon Tim, he forgot that his own state's pension system holds more than $1.6 million in Tesla stock. That's right, my friends. Minnesota state employees, your governor, was celebrating the steep declines in your 401ks. Walz was then forced to walk back his words a few days later, but even then, he could not let go of this vitriolic hatred of Elon Musk. And it sounds like this.
This guy bugs me in a way that is probably unhealthy. And, but
Kind of the way he bugs us.
I have to be careful about being a smartass. I was making a joke. These people have no sense of humor. They are the most literal people. But my point was they're all mad, and I, said something I didn't, probably shouldn't have about a company. He is agreed. So I make the case I make the case they're all butthurt about the Tesla thing, but they don't care the disrespect they have shown to employees at the Minneapolis VA who care for our veterans, and they fire them. They don't care. This maybe's just me. If I'm the richest man in the world, I'm like out on the streets handing out the money. It'd be fun as hell just to help people out. Go help people out. Not this guy. Not this guy.
Is that so, Tampon Tim, you friggin' piece of crap? As governor of Minnesota and someone who spent years in Congress, you've been making six digits for more than 20 years. Why don't you put your effing money where your mouth is and go out on the streets and hand it out? You son of a bitch. Elon Musk was asked for his thoughts on Tampon Tim's anti-Tesla comments, and Elon sounded like this.
You had Tim Waltz, who's a huge jerk, running around on stage with the Tesla stock price, where the stock price had gone in half. And he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What a creep. What a jerk. Like, who derives joy from that?
I'll tell you who, Elon. Someone who hates success and hates America. Of course, the mainstream media and Tim Waltz couldn't leave it at that. MSNBC asked Waltz for his response to Musk's comment about him.
You a creep and a jerk?
Well, that's a badge of honor if he thinks I am. Donald Trump won Wisconsin. I'll give him that. But he's sharing his presidency and the White House and who knows what else with this guy who's a loser, who lost. This guy's really bad at this. I am angry with this guy. I'm glad he's irritated with me. He's a bully. It's his toxic personality.
Tim Waltz, a Babylon boob. What exactly did Elon Musk lose when he never ran for anything?
Exactly.
What is it he lost? You son of a bitch.
And how is he a loser?
Yeah,
the richest guy in the world.
In any way, shape, or form. But Tim Waltz, of course, the all-knowing Tim Waltz, who did really well in the election. I think he certainly helped Kamalato quite a bit.
He definitely helped us.
Elon, the loser who rescued two astronauts that Kamala's boss couldn't do.
Right, and came up with a car that the woke left was giddy about for years. Loved him. So when they're out there, the woke left, destroying these cars, they're destroying cars mostly of the left who went out and purchased these cars several years ago.
Right. Hypocrisy.
It's ridiculous. But going back to his frigging Tampon's stupid utterings about, well, you're a billionaire, which, by the way, I grew up with that. I grew up with that mentality. I grew up in a family of Democrats. My dad never said this, but I did have an uncle. I remember at his place on Deer Island or wherever the hell, St. Helens, Oregon, he lived on a farm there, Uncle Jack, who I loved dearly. Deader than hell. Now,
big guy, war hero,
and a boxer, and he boxed,
Golden Glove boxer,
and a good man. But we're watching, and I'm just a little kid. And we're watching the Johnny Carson show one night, and he says, Johnny Carson makes all that money. He should give some to me. And I said,
that always stuck with you,
because as a little kid, I then said, even then. I said, so I was this Republican in Democrats' clothing, even as a 6 or 7 year old. I said, because he makes that much money, why does he owe you any of it? And Uncle Jack just, I pull my finger. I think that was
he was the old pull my finger guy.
That was pretty much his response. But much to that is Reagan so many years ago, and why was Reagan's presidency so awesome? The man that went, P.S., don't forget, he went through the same crap that Donald Trump is going through right now. Everyone forgets that part. When his ratings, his polling numbers were down the tubes, that's why he set up that meeting in New York with the union guys, and then after the meeting walked out, boom, got shot. And after the shooting, his polling numbers went through the roof. It's sort of weird, the parallel between Reagan and Donald Trump. This is Reagan so many years ago, and he would say this to this Tampon Tim piece of crap if Reagan were alive today.
I recently asked my friend's little girl what she wanted to be when she grows up.
she said she wanted to be the President of the United States. Both of her parents, liberal Democrats, were standing there. So I asked her, if you were president, what would be the first thing you would do? Well, she replied, I'd give food and houses to all the homeless people. Her parents beamed. Wow, what a worthy goal, I told her. But you don't have to wait until you're president to do that. You see, you can come over to my house right now, and you can mow the lawn, pull weeds, and sweep my driveway, and I'll pay you $50. Then, I'll take you over to the grocery store where that homeless guy hangs out, and you can give him the $50 to use toward food and a new house. She thought that over for a few seconds, then she looked me straight in the eye and asked, why doesn't the homeless guy come over and do the work, and you can just pay him the $50? I said, welcome to the Republican Party. Her parents are still not speaking to me.
Oh, man, I love that Reagan.
Yeah, and by the way, Matt, since you played that last week,
Love that guy.
I've noticed on Instagram,
Yeah.
that's all over the place on Instagram.
The video, yeah, I watch it all the time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we are trendsetters, and so being the trendsetters that we are.
By the way, try to find somebody now that'll mow the White House for $50.
Yeah, good luck. Subscribe to us on YouTube, won't
Sure.
you? And follow us
Easy.
on whatever. And then comment. The comments help our analytics, very, very much so. Comment, and it's not the comments on the page as we're live. It's the comments that stay there afterward. That's what I've discovered. That help
Not the chat room.
It's not the chat room. It's the comments afterwards that really increase our focus on the analytics.
Yeah, you know what I've noticed too? Like when you go back, like if I wanted to tell you if somebody commented this or that, once the show is over, the chat comments are gone.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Feel free to chat with them.
Yeah, I don't get this. Speaking of Tesla, a pregnant woman sitting in the passenger seat of a Tesla EV was injured by a 2-pound rock that smashed through the car windshield in Vancouver, Canada. Authorities are now investigating if the rock was intentionally thrown at the vehicle made by Elon Musk's company. Oh, I wonder, was it intentional?
You think?
Police said the Tesla was headed north on Nanama Street in the evening of March 30th, was struck by a rock as the electric vehicle passed East 27th Avenue. The rock reportedly smashed through the car windshield and seriously injured a pregnant woman in the passenger seat before landing on the floor of the Tesla. The victim is expected to make a full recovery. We are working to determine whether this was a criminal act and if someone intentionally targeted this Tesla.
No, it just came out.
No, it was a meteor.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of work.
By the way, I'm surprised those windows are not like bulletproof or rock-proof. I'm surprised the way he built those cars.
Too expensive. That bulletproof glass, that's like another 10, 15,000 at least.
Could be bulletproof and not rock-proof.
And Bill Murray was freaking out on a pushy fan. Attack me again, I'll step on your foot.
There you go.
That was brutal.
Yeah, there's a video out there, and it's Bill Murray lashing out at an intrusive fan who appeared to hound the actor at a New York City movie theater. You attack me like that again, I'll step on your foot, the Ghostbusters star declared. The video posted to social media shows Bill Murray shouting, "Stop it." You know, it should only take one stop it, it seems to me.
Yeah.
Adding, if you attack me like that again, I'll step on your foot, while pointing his finger in the fan's face inside the lobby of a New York City's AMC Lincoln Square 13 theater. I think I was there once. I really do. I think it's one of the rare movies I saw in Midtown. Don't do it. That's a physical assault you just did. The Lost in Translation star continued. That's a movie I watched once, and I couldn't tell you what it was about.
Yeah, it was a weird one. It was one of his offs.
I liked him in Stripes.
The funny thing was when you first introduced him and said the Ghostbuster star, and I was like, why would he choose that movie? And then you went to the next one. So
Well, that was a big one. That was
a big one, but I would have said, like Caddyshack or something.
Yeah,
Like
huge franchise.
What about
for
Bob?
him.
Yeah.
Don't do it again, Murray added as he left with security guards. He's 74, but man, does he look older than that?
He looks a lot.
He looks like he's in his 80s.
But he's in good shape, man. I mean, aside from his looks.
How does he know?
I watch him. He's doing golf tournaments. He's out all the time doing stuff. He's very healthy.
All right. Well, good. Well, good. Yeah, he's always had the pockmarked face. Yeah. You know.
Those Murray brothers are, they're,
I mean, look at Tommy Lee Jones. You knew that wasn't going good towards,
Is he dead? Did he finally die?
No.
No, good for him.
Just his career.
Fans took to social media to react to Murray's behavior, with some accusing the Groundhog Day actor.
That's a good movie.
There's a good. Of overreacting. You got your foot nudged in a crowd and call it assault. Be serious, one ex-user wrote, adding, "You're not the crown jewels." Someone got too close, sure, but calling that assault is peak main character syndrome. It's okay to have boundaries. It's not okay to weaponize the word assault because someone scuffed your designer shoes, the ex-user added. Not every awkward fan moment is a felony. Relax, Bill. The fan didn't step on his foot, another argued, adding, Bill Murray tried horse-kicking him because he thought he was too close. Lunatic behavior. Even if the person was invasive, another one said on X, Bill is a huge a-hole. LOL. You know, he's been known to hit people. I mean, on set.
Well, him and his brothers, we've had...
No, he punched Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Except, I've heard from inside sources that Chevy is no walk in the park.
No, he is worse than Bill, for sure.
So you've worked with Chevy?
No, I know. I through the grapevine, I've heard too.
All right.
Well, all right, you're cruising.
Yeah.
I know people.
We know several people who've worked with Bill Murray and have known him for decades. If you are nice and polite, and under the right circumstances, he's the funny. And I bet you'd get. You know, he's an Irish fella. Obviously, you know,
he was drunk.
He may have been drunk.
We had John.
Wait, he's an Irish fella. Yeah. He may have been sober.
We had John Murray. We had who's the other Murray that we had over there? Ryan Starr.
We've had many Murrays on the show, and with the exception of Bill, we do that. You know, we have cousins and brothers of big-time actors. Personally, I don't think. I don't even feel like he lost it. People walk up to celebrities and just think they can do whatever. I agree. Because you feel as though you know these people when you don't. But if you get that close and you step on his foot, yeah, I sort of get it. Another theorized that most people consume so much media that they misperceive celebrities, yes, this is what I said, as friends or acquaintances, adding they meet them and get starstruck, but also have the sense of familiarity. And what does familiarity do? It breeds contempt.
Matt, Zombieland. Have you ever seen Zombieland?
That's a great movie.
Bill Murray?
Oh, it's a great
Where
movie.
they killed him?
Woody Harrelson also?
It is a great, that is, in fact, both of them. Zombie 1, Zombie 2. Those are great movies.
Yeah, Woody and Bill
Have you seen those, Ralph?
I have not.
I'm telling you, they are great effing movies.
Yeah.
And do we have enough time for this? Let me see. 2 clips here. Yes, we do. Or do we?
Couple minutes.
Yeah. Okay. In the first 50 days of first 50 days of his presidency, Donald Trump and ICE removed more than 33,000 illegal immigrants, many of whom are violent criminals. Bondi, man, kicking some ass, huh?
Yes.
Pam.
Yes.
President Trump also secured our southern border. Something his critics said was impossible without an act of Congress. Hey, let's flash back to the mainstream media during the Biden administration making excuses for the open border.
When?
Boy, this is getting old. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So.
Okay, let's take a look here.
Dead air.
That's all right.
Well, no, I could have made this
Don't be
clearer.
afraid of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Did I say montage?
Nope.
I just wish.
Hold on. Let me just see mainstream media during the
Don't be afraid of dead air.
making excuses for the open border. Hold on.
Okay, all right.
It's okay.
No.
You could press 3 buttons.
Yeah. No, I could have. No. Dave, you're right. I could have made that clearer.
I did
Okay.
find it,
Okay. So and it's a 2-puncher. Go ahead.
Republicans keep saying Biden doesn't need Congress. He can stop what's happening at the border all by himself. Can you fact check that for us? Because we here all know that's not true.
Republicans have been saying, largely wrongly, right, saying that the president can close the border unilaterally on his own. The president actually doesn't have the authority under law to do that.
There's only so much President Biden can do with executive action, and he did try
to do whatever he could.
They actually are doing everything they can.
The president's hands are tied. There's only so much that he can do.
President Biden has issued certain executive orders, but there's only so much he can do within his purview.
What an intractable problem this is for the president with no easy solutions. No easy solutions here.
There are no easy solutions here, folks.
The president insisting there's only so much he can do without Congress.
How much can actually be done quickly without Congress acting?
How would this happen without the power of the purse, without Congress getting involved?
They need Congress to act to fix the broken immigration system.
This cannot happen without Congress resourcing this.
There's only so much a president can do with his pen and his phone.
Thank goodness for the internet. When old clips of lying liberals never die, those same Democrat leaders who are bashing President Trump for enforcing our immigration laws seem to have forgotten their own words from years past.
In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes.
Senator Biden, yes or no, would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked.
Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous.
Obama went on to...
I'm very disappointed.
Well, that was the end, and I figured
You
we
know
ran
what?
late, so we would go to break.
Marty, we need to come to a show that's tight. This is just ridiculous.
Are the mics still hot, Dave? Turn us off.
Yeah, why would I do that?
Well, because you don't want to be embarrassed by what
I'm
Marty
embarrassed
said.
constantly, and Marty can't embarrass me.
You're getting behind the scenes crap here, my friends. We're all drinking whiskey and getting agitated. Which, by the way, I think is a focal point of Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Yeah.
Isn't that why you come here? Yeah. That's what I thought. When we return, I will get to what Obama went on to say. And that, once again, that Pam Bondi. Oh, man, Spitfire. She's not even a female. She's a Spitfire.
I love her.
Yeah. She's a 57 Spitfire with tinted windows.
Yeah, good one.
Wanna buy a new car, but the price ain't right. Ain't that cold? Be a damn sight cheaper. Yes, it do. Start riding the bike. Listen, they're making milk out of powder. Yeah, they are. Got the babies crying. Poor baby, they know what that stuff is. Rent's gone up higher. Yes, it is. Got the parents lying. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah. Make you wanna run for cover, yes, it will. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Good God. Listen, got to go to a disco. Throw your troubles away. Dance to the music that the DJ plays. Well, all right. And then the lights come on. Yeah. Like you knew they would. That cold. Gone home and face the music. That don't sound too good. Ain't that cold? Listen. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Yeah, rectify, yeah. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Now it's a real motherfucker, yeah.
We stand for fun. We stand for great cigars. We stand for the perfect martini. And we stand for the American flag. We are Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen.
And on occasion, we will get on our tippy toes and enjoy a great whiskey. Compliments Ralph Odierna. Oh, the viscosity on this is so tasty. This is good stuff, man.
Literally the best whiskey I've ever had.
Yeah, cheers to Ralph Odierna. And the name of this is
Savage and Cook.
Savage and Cook. Which, by the way, one of my favorite morning shows from Pismo Beach back in the day.
Pismo Beach?
Yeah.
Mar, California.
I could never decide which one I liked more. Was it Savage or Cook?
Right.
Cook was a great straight man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin. I mean, Jerry Lewis, funny guy, but Dean Martin, it wouldn't have been an act if Dean Martin weren't the greatest straight man on the planet. So I don't know. I think Savage and Cook, you know, in the morning, bap, bap, whack, whack.
They work together well.
7:22, here's Madonna. I'm Savage, he's Cook.
What do you think about that, Cook?
I don't know. Weather-wise, 72 degrees on the outside. I always loved it when they said on the outside. It's like as opposed to what? Your temperature inside the studio? Yeah. 78 on the outside. Good afternoon to you. So many bad disc jockeys, so little time.
Cook?
Oh, God. I do. I haven't listened to Top 40 radio in so many stinking years. I just know that I would pull my hair out.
You would roll over in your
KLOS here locally in Los Angeles.
They're not a top 40 station.
Yeah. That's right. They're AOL.
They're an album. No, they're an AOR station, album rock station.
AOL died.
That's right.
AOL.
I'm not a radio guy. I don't know.
The man who said,
"You got mail."
You got mail. Dead.
Dead.
He died about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
God bless him. God rest his soul. Because what a voice.
Wonder what he got paid per. You got mail.
Well, yeah, it was probably a buyout. Oh. Yeah, there's no way. You know, instead he probably didn't know. It's like, you know what I'd like instead of say $5,000? I'd like a penny each time that plays.
You bet your ass.
like the Disney thing.
Well, you're talking about my buddy Dick Sherman and his
Small
brother,
World, right?
and his brother, who, when rest his soul, he died last year. Man, Dick Sherman, at 95 years old. The composer of every great Disney song. I've known him 32 years, love him dearly, and another guy that just shouldn't die. There should be like 4 or 5 pills every year for those people that you can keep them alive.
Richard Sherman's last interview was on Outlaw Radio.
Yeah, well, one of his last, but one of the good guys, and so he was taken out. He and his brother, Walt Disney, discussed "It's a Small World," a song that they wrote.
Riding in a freaking limo. I remember the story.
Right, and they said, and it wasn't a limo.
Why don't you let Matt tell it,
so
Marty?
Walt was driving the car, and he said, you know, I want to discuss this with you boys. We can do a buyout, or you can get a nickel every time it plays. And they said, oh, we want the buyout. You know, it was this is how many years ago? I mean, 50s? This is the 50s, and it was like $5,000 or $10,000. And they said, well, we want the $10,000. Walt then said, no, you don't. He said, what you want is a nickel every time it plays. And they did. I talked to Richard Sherman about this, and they debated him. It's like, no, we need the money. Walt said, I can't let you do that. But you make the decision, and they finally succumb. 5 cents every time It's a Small World plays. How many times does that play every day at every Disney?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wasn't there something in there about this will put your kids through college? Or...
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they said this will put your children through college. And
where do those residuals go now?
Yeah. A few minutes ago, we were talking about the fact that these lefty pie holes, they're all against the border closing and how nasty it is. But just a few years ago, of course, they were talking about the fact that, keeping the border closed is the smart thing to do, including Barack Obama, who was first and foremost into keeping the border secure. He was first. Of course, he's the same one that said, marriage should be between a man and a woman. And then, of course, he became enlightened a few years later, and it's like, well...
when he married a man.
Yeah, whatever way...
By the way, I heard his favorite movie is Magic Mike.
Hey, is that right? Yeah, whatever way the wind blows. This is Obama, who went on to say...
For the millions of Americans who are still out of work or struggling to pay the bills. Tough.
Obama added these sage words, my friend.
Students, drop college because I don't want to see new skills and ingenuity by American workers.
Remember when Barack was on Meet the Press?
Mr. President, welcome back to Meet the Press.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
So what is your single priority of the second term?
Ruining our country. And this is not something that I will be putting off.
No, he did a pretty good job. Yeah, he did.
I love an honest politician.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, love that. Normally I won't play this entire clip, but I think it's worthy, and I'll pause during this. But this really happened here in California. Talk about this was in Illinois. Talk about a woke school, and my God, this is a little taste of the Twilight Zone. Dig this.
Last week, a mother in Deerfield, Illinois, attended a school board meeting and made public the fact that her daughter, as well as other 13-year-old female students, were forced by the school to change in their PE locker room in front of a confused biological male posing as a female.
Listen carefully, my friends.
Now, when she said her daughter was forced, she meant that school administrators held the girls in the locker room and made them change, not permitting them to leave in protest.
The same day, Assistant Superintendent Joanna Ford, Kathy Van Treese, and multiple teachers all came into the girls' locker room, making them change into uniform.
Adults forcing young teenage girls to disrobe in front of them and at least one male student. In a saner time, this would be called sexual abuse, requiring immediate termination
100%.
and the requisite legal prosecution of the administrators. But we don't live in such times,
No,
at
we
least
don't.
they don't in Illinois. While the mother's testimony went viral, what didn't make the news cycles was what happened after she sat down. First, she was harassed by trans activist patrons in the audience for being a pervert who, quote, is obsessed with children's genitals. Stop and think how crazy that is.
Yeah.
A male dressed as a female going into the changing room of a 13-year-old girl, that person cannot be called a pervert because that's insensitive and offensive. But a mom wanting to guard her 13-year-old daughter's privacy is to be considered a pervert obsessed with other kids' private parts. God help us. But it actually got worse. The next speaker approached the podium.
My name is Charlie Friedman. My pronouns are they, he.
Pause. I just want you to get a good look in your mind of who this broad is. You probably already know. Thin, unattractive,
shaved head, pierced nose,
wearing a hat, and just exactly what you would expect. My pronouns are. And here she is in front of the school board members. Go.
Trans person. I am the parent of a trans middle schooler.
She acknowledged that she's a trans activist and then proceeded to celebrate the state's corrupt governor, J.B. Pritzker, for his efforts to protect
trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming students from the type of bullying that this parent represents.
It's dystopian. Teachers who are acting as agents of the government, standing watch over disrobing teenage girls in a locker room, ensuring that they all remove their clothes in front of a male student that they don't want to disrobe in front of. That is protecting kids.
Pause. I don't know if I could hold back.
No.
I have
there's no time.
I have a daughter. If this were going on while my daughter was in elementary, middle school, or high school, I think I would unleash the fury
baseball bat
inside. I could not let this go. Ralph Odierna, you have no children that you know of.
No, but I went through this in high school. I went to a high school in the Bronx, which was predominantly black.
Right.
And when I would have to change in the locker room with the other athletes,
yeah, it's embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing.
Yeah, of course, that's got to be embarrassing.
You know, I notice you make it. You know, you turn around making a funny thing.
No, but he makes a good point.
But Matt's correct. I mean, it would be hard to hold back. And aren't these people liable? I mean, shouldn't they be held liable?
It absolutely should be. In the state of Illinois, though, I wonder with those corrupt friggin' idiot stick woke judges how this is going to
and
sit.
the parents have to yank their kids out of there right now.
Don't say yank.
I was going to say, why'd you say yank?
Yeah, not in this context. Okay, continue with this ugly bit of Twilight Zoniness that is actually going on today. Go.
Parents who want their children's innocence protected, they are bullies.
Yeah.
Dystopian. In fact, while we're on that topic, I think it's appropriate to point out that progressives who have been trying to scare up votes for years by saying conservatives would turn women into servile handmaids, notice they are the ones willfully forcing little girls to be objectified by males.
Right.
This woman speaker at the meeting then went on to tout the Illinois order that said,
The discomfort or privacy concerns of other students, teachers, or parents are not valid reasons to deny or limit the full and equal use of those facilities based on a student's gender-related identity. Instead, any student, teacher, or other individual seeking more privacy should be accommodated by providing that individual with a more private option upon their request.
Pause. So the poor kids, the little girls who simply want to dress in privacy, they're the bad ones.
And need to ask permission.
They need to ask permission for a private area because some dude with his friggin'
Tallywhacker,
his handmaid's tale hanging down, is in the locker room, and they want privacy, but this guy gets all the rights because he's a sick F. Because the guy is a
mentally ill.
Either that or he's a pedophile. He's a piece of crap. Continue.
Sounds like that would be a great option in this case.
Pause. By the way, talk about mentally ill. This woman, this transgender, my pronouns are, this piece of crap broad has a child. You talk about child abuse?
Well, and also transgender.
Can you imagine the child abuse? Continue.
For your kids.
And there it is. It's not the confused or mentally ill men who want to infringe upon the rights of little girls that need to be provided alternative accommodations. It's not the boy who wants to cosplay as a girl who should be politely offered a separate private bathroom to change. No, he will be permitted to violate the norms of society and will be applauded for doing so. It is everyone else, all the other girls, who will need to be provided alternative accommodations. Even if that means a line of 30 girls long, all waiting to change in the single private bathroom, as this one male student has an entire girls' locker room to himself. Because men have a right to women's locker rooms, you see. This is crazy. What's going on in Illinois really pulls the mask off. There's no pretending anymore that trans activism is just about making sure that no one feels ostracized and to make sure everyone is tolerated. It's actually the exact opposite.
Yes.
It's about shaming people with traditional moral convictions. It's about humiliating a mom who doesn't want her daughter exposing herself to a boy. It's about ostracizing anyone who won't normalize the abnormal. And in the end, that won't be good for anyone. Denying truth never is.
How is it that so I answer my own question while I ask the question? Illinois, big rural farm area. it's always the big city. It's Chicago.
yeah.
Without the big city, none of this crap would be happening. What? Right, Ralph?
I'm thinking about movies like Meatballs and Kentucky Fried
Yeah,
Movie.
right.
If they would have just said they were a trans movie, there'd be nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's a sickness, my friends, and it's still going on even as our president is our president.
And by the way, if I ever get arrested, I'm a trans woman.
Yeah, of course
I'm going
you-
to the women's prison.
Of course you are.
Yeah, by the way, they were all doing that.
That's
Kamala
right.
Harris was 100% for it.
You'd be a great lesbian.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll be this after back.
Your time is up. You took a sip from the devil's cup. You broke my heart. There's no way back. Move right out of here, baby. Go pack your bags. Just who do you think you are? Stop acting like some kind of star. Just who do you think you are? Take it like a man, baby, if that's what you are. 'Cause I'm moving on up. You're moving on out. Moving on up. Nothing can stop me. Moving on up. You're moving on out. Time to break free. Nothing can stop me. They brag a man has walked in space, but you can't even find my place. There ain't nothing you can do, 'cause I've had enough of me, baby, being part of you. Just who do you think you are? This time you've gone too far. Just who do you think you are? Take it like a man, baby, if that's what you are. 'Cause I'm moving on up. You're moving on out. Moving on up. Nothing can stop me. Moving on up. You're moving on out. Time to break free. Nothing can stop me. Moving on up, moving on up, moving on up. Moving on up, moving on up, moving on up. Moving on up, moving on up, moving on up. Moving on up, moving on up. You're moving on out. Moving on up. Nothing can stop me. Moving on up. You're moving on out. Time to break free. Nothing can stop me. Moving.
This is Outlaw Radio.
All right, the thumbnail. Well, I'm all of a sudden really loud. I can't say it. You think you have a problem with my voice? Just imagine being me. It's a blessing and a curse. When we return next hour, we'll finally dive into this Kid Rock wardrobe mishap at the White House.
You sure it's a mishap?
I'm not sure about anything when it comes to, and I love Kid Rock, but I think you're going to get a kick out of this one. Plus, hold on, I've been champing at the bit to Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, this Byron Donalds versus Sanctuary City Mayors. Oh, this is excellent. It's a quickie, but you're going to love it. All that and less in mere minutes on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Plus, we'll play that Doge song performed by Madonna. Do you think Madonna really performed it? Sounds just like Madonna. When we return next hour, Attorney General Pam Bondi approves restoration of Mel Gibson's gun rights. She's doing all the right things.
And Mel's
man.
going, thank you.
Yeah, she's doing all the right things. I wish he had a shot at becoming governor of California. There's talk
awesome.
of that. There's talk. I just don't see these idiot sticks in this state voting for him.
Yeah.
Even after the fires, even after all they went through in Pacific Palisades, not just but outside of Pasadena, It's devastation that should create awareness that we have the wrong people in charge. But no, how quickly would you vote for Mel Gibson? I mean, boom, instantly.
Well, I will tell you right now, I'm disappointed because he gave up cigars.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't read that.
Yes, he gave up cigars.
Okay, screw him.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Forget it. He's clearly the wrong guy.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys,
what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
suck, man.
Yeah. Attorney General Pam Bondi restores Mel Gibson's gun rights. I just nicely done. And Disney animated series Win or Lose features a character saving his gay lover, Frankie Pooh. Perfect name. Disney-owned Pixar's animated kids series Win or Lose showcased a love-charged same-sex scene in which the umpire, Frank Josh Thomas, is saved from an enraged softball game crowd by the school janitor. See, my buddy, we got to get my buddy Gar Lester back on the show because he lives in Bakersfield and gay for, all of his life, with the same partner for 30-some-odd years, and 100% conservative man, a man that always does the right thing at the voting booth.
Yeah, one of the greats.
I just wonder what he thinks about the name Frankie Pooh.
Is that Winnie the Pooh's brother?
See what he did there? That's what whiskey will do, my friends.
Oh boy, that's just so not funny.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Well, I thought it was okay.
No, not even
You can't
close.
even make that funny.
Not even at the UCLA radio program would they say that.
88.5.
Thank God I'm at USC.
Palm Stars Rick Harrison praises Trump's border crackdown after his son's fentanyl death. Is that what happened to us?
It's not the son that you've seen, though. It's a different son.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's the dead one.
Yeah, it's the
Nice,
one
Ralph. Very
the
nice.
one that's dead.
No, Rick has always been. Yeah, he's.
And singer Kelly Clarkson celebrates the beauty of the trans community on Trans Day of Visibility. She used her platform on NBC's The Clarkson Show to promulgate Trans Day of Visibility by interviewing a transgender artist about an album that was released last November. It's so much fun.
Who tied Kelly Clarkson's stomach together?
Yes. Give it up for yourselves. Yes.
Give it up for yourselves. Yeah.
Yes. All right. I got to go to break. But when we return, I will finally investigate this Kid Rock wardrobe malfunction.
My name is Kid.
Yeah. All that and the Doge song, which if you haven't enjoyed this, you will in mere minutes on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and the finest stations in the nation. What's up, what's up? We'll be this after back. Get me now.
Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop. Skip it. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bout that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, oh!
I'm always a little louder because I'm not for some reason.
Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot.
you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. I said uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on. Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe me, 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 just watch. Hey, 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 oh! Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop. Skip it. I'm too hot. Call the police and the firemen. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. Break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
He just passed out.
Oh,
yeah. Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
To lighten them up loud. Oh, man. We're here with Matt. Oh, yeah. At the lighten up. Oh, little Outlaw Radio. We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This man's good buddy, Kid Rock. Oh, yeah. You know, Billy Gibbons been known to wear some funky clothes on stage as well. We'll get to old Kid Rock in just a moment. Welcome back, my friends, to Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Smoking, drinking, interrupting from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar. I didn't give it a chance last week to play this song, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. This, it sounds like Madonna. You know that Madonna would never ascribe to this philosophy, making fun of Doge. But let's dig this on Outlaw Radio. And
With current and projected deficits,
This
we
is
can
good.
cut expenditures by 32%.
Almost a
Let's make it even
masterpiece.
40. Oh, that's not necessary.
Slash it. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
President Donald Trump's new Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE for short, officially established earlier this week after a first-day executive order. The new entity, which plans to try to slash billions in government spending, will operate as part of the executive branch, and they will have a congressional arm.
That is 19-year-old Edward Corstein, better known as
Big Balls.
Big balls, big balls, big balls.
Love it.
Big balls.
Time for Doge. Here we go.
The disruptor in chief, Elon Musk, who apparently has adopted the alias to Harry Balls.
Department of Government Efficiency, an acronym that just so happens to spell Doge.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.
They're just like you, and they're just like me. And he's running around and he thinks he's got a bank account with a lot of zeros in it. I don't think so.
Look around, government is overspending. Nobody knows where it goes.
Doge.
You cry, 'cause your bills are never ending. They tax you to the bone. When government fails at efficiency, deficit gets bigger every day. I know some kids who wanna save the day. It's called a task force, and here's what it's for. So come on, Doge, make our money go where we choose it.
Sounds like Madonna, which is not.
It's definitely her 100%.
Which is not saying a lot.
Not at all. It's not. I was going to say the chick is a good impression.
Better than your impressions.
I love it. I just laugh. I know who the king is.
All right, enough of that crap. Yeah, I've had enough.
I like Madonna.
Yeah. I like Madonna.
I used to like her.
I like the fact that she simply wants to burn down the White House. I mean, who doesn't like that?
But even at this age, would you?
What?
Would you hit her?
I was not interested in her sexually when I was. Here we go. Let me pick up the name from the floor.
Oh, I've seen you on a big thing in New York City with Madonna.
In Times Square,
Yes,
on
that's it.
stage with Madonna, and even then, I never got a sexual vibe from her. And it's not just. I'm not one of these guys who say, "Well, she's not into me, so she must be a lesbian." No, that's not what I'm saying. Madonna is asexual.
Did you get a waft?
She is.
Did you stand next to her on stage?
Not certain what my brother is speaking of, but he's taking off where Tattoo Dave is now sitting back, smoking his stogie, saying, "Boy,
a waft."
Let
Live
brother
and let live.
Let brother Martin throw his own self under the bus." Madonna is asexual. I don't think she gives an S about sex. What she's always given an S about is making gazillions of dollars and becoming a superstar.
Yeah, she did that very well.
And she did that extremely well. Her focus was always on that. And a diminutive little gal, you know. By the way, are you aware the blonde hair? She's not really blonde.
How did you know?
Well, she's Italian.
You couldn't tell by her beard?
Yeah, she's Italian. Before I jump into this Kid Rock wardrobe malfunction, I mentioned this on the show last Saturday about autism, and my brother Mart played this clip of this limey kid who I guess is now.
Love this guy.
He's an American. He's right.
He's blowing up on Instagram.
But he's good. He's really good. He's smart. He knows how to edit these things. And he's talking about everyone has a damn ailment these days. And it's funny that Mart just played this for me because I sort of mentioned this last Saturday on the show that autism, and I'm glad Ralph is here today because I would like you to speak to this. the fact that Donald Trump has bought into this concept that autism among among children has gone through the roof, it's simply because that's not Trump's fort, as they say. Kennedy Jr. is 100% on board because he's I think, and I like him a lot, but I think he's sort of a reactionary guy. But it seems to me that a man like this, who thought that we should not have all gotten the damn jab and was completely against that concept, would understand that, in my opinion, and I have no stats, but I'm telling you, I've been right damn near 99% of the time, not one to boast on this show. The stats regarding autism, and you'll hear President Trump talk about it consistently, well, it's an epidemic. They've gone up by 1,000% over the last 30 years among kids. No, it's because it's a catch-all. And everyone is looking for something, some sort of prescription, and it's also a money grab amongst the big pharma. I don't believe that there is more autism today than there was 100 years ago. Ralph?
I think I agree with you. I think we just call it autism
Yes.
now. Back when I was in high school, there was a kid that had no filter, and we punched him in the mouth. Today, he would be called, he has
Autistic.
Asperger's.
Asperger's.
Right.
Right?
You know,
You're right.
Or a kid that was really smart, we called him a jughead.
Right.
But he had autism. Elon Musk has he's on the spectrum, or
He's
whatever it's
completely
called.
on the spectrum.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
We just didn't call it that.
Well,
back then.
it was previously undiagnosed.
It was, but it's labeled, so anyone who is just any kid who's just a little off, boom, autism.
Look at your brother Marty.
Yes.
Come on.
No.
That's retarded.
No.
Your first reaction is the correct one.
You guys having fun?
Now, do you know, Ralph, do you know how politically incorrect it is to say the R word?
Retarded?
Yes.
But it may be accurate.
Unless you pronounce it like Galifianakis.
Even
retard.
Even the Black Eyed Peas had to change the lyrics of one of their songs when they said, "Let's get retarded."
Yeah.
They had to change the
Wait a
lyrics
minute,
because it's politically
I'm
incorrect.
not sure here,
couldn't
Ralph.
care less.
Did you just call me retarded?
Yes, a
Yes,
little
I
bit.
said you're retarded.
Look at
Oh,
it.
okay,
Look,
hope
see,
you guys are having fun today.
He's just getting it.
Yeah.
He's
Enjoy
just now
yourself.
getting it. So he's obviously.
And by the way, when I was in high school, we didn't even say retarded. We said you're a tard.
Yeah, a
We
tard.
shortened it.
Or
I said F-tard.
on our thumbnail on YouTube and on Rumble and on X, we have the word faggy printed. We don't mean homosexual in any way, shape, or form. Do we mean homosexual?
No.
As kids growing up, if you called someone a fag, it wasn't because we thought you were gay. It's because or faggy means.
And we didn't even say this as a pejorative. There was a
No.
kid in my neighborhood in the Bronx who had Down syndrome, and he was a retard. But I'll tell you, if anybody
Once
picked
again,
up,
you see, by the way, even though it's my name on the show, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, and I want you to
Well, look what
subscribe on
he's
YouTube.
doing, yeah.
But I want you to understand this, that I didn't say the
no, but
R
let me
word.
get to my
Yeah,
point.
yes.
If anybody picked on him, we would kick your ass.
Yes, and that's the way I was as a
Right.
kid. If anyone went against that kid,
Right.
we all had one or two. You know, and Mart wasn't in my class, so he was not included.
I love
My
how you
brother.
guys.
He was
Magic Matt's Outlaw Radios.
He was
Let me
the
tell
kid
you
in
something,
question,
bro.
obviously.
I was the long-haired rocker guy, stoner in school, bro. So I was not that.
And
retard.
you wear
I was
wait,
not-
So you're retarded.
and you're wearing that as a badge of honor?
Yeah, man, because we had a certain people that we were like the coolest people. We were we
you
were
weren't.
rebels. Yeah, we
No,
were.
you weren't.
By the way, I was banging cheerleaders hot as hell, and
Okay.
the freaking
His
jocks
mic
got
is too
pissed
loud.
at me.
No, you were not cool.
Yeah.
Well, I
Let me
think
tell
just
you
the fact that it's
something,
on.
Mother effer.
All right,
and
let's-
don't ever. How dare you? And Ralph, don't
I'm just telling you, you were never cool.
I wasn't.
No.
Ask my ex hot wife and hot girlfriends if I was fucking.
Well, and hence the word
All right,
X.
there you go. You got that? You got
Hence
that?
the word
Didn't you
X.
just say all women?
I
are-
got to put the
what'd you
bleep
say?
in there, right?
Yeah.
Did you
I
get
didn't
that?
catch it.
I
Yeah,
screwed
yeah.
up.
Well, make a
Whatever.
note.
No, but my point was, we had these Down
Yes.
syndrome kid in my neighborhood.
Yes.
He was retarded, but if you picked on him, we kicked your butt.
And I'm the same way,
Ralphie,
man. It's like, how dare you, you stupid ass.
Matt, remember that guy in our school?
Yeah, how dare you?
Remember that guy in our high school, Colin Roberts? I'll never
No.
forget it. Stutterer.
See, you remember high school. I don't. I
Anyway,
don't
he was
remember any of the
So
kids.
you're saying he's a functional
Hold on, he was a
autistic?
stutterer, is what he
Oh,
was.
okay, yeah.
Really bad stutterer.
Right.
People used to pick on him.
Yeah.
They didn't get it. They couldn't put up with it.
I could
He
never.
was my friend.
I could never
Right.
pick on. I could
Yeah.
never pick on anyone with a disability.
No.
Ever.
No.
Ever. I
No.
could. I just.
How dare you?
Unless they were your friend and you screwed with them friend to friend.
Right.
Well, no, I
yes,
used
of
to-
course. That's
Right.
different. That's
Right.
different.
I used to bust his balls on that.
Right.
You know, friend to friend. But,
Yeah.
but Ralph, you're right. I would be the first guy to protect him.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get to this. As you probably
You
heard.
still weren't cool.
as you may have heard, Kid Rock set up a White House meeting between President Trump and Bill
It's hard to get out.
But the
It's
great,
spelled funny.
But the great thing is Kid Rock has the wherewithal to say, I think that they have more in common than they have disagreements. So Kid Rock set up a meeting between President Trump and Bill First of all, some things you do for yourself.
Yes.
That's one I do for me.
Is it Bill
First of all, how did
one of many?
How did such a meeting come about in the first place?
It started for me doing Bill's show and doing his podcast last year and again this year. And they actually have things in common. Him and Trump, as hard as they've been on each other, and Bill's been more than a little unkind to the president over the years. And I'm friendly with them both. And I said, man, what if you could sit down and meet him and break bread? That's one thing I've found in life is, nothing gets solved and this country's so divided. I'm like, what if we could just have some laughs, talk about some things we agree on, and maybe just try to set an example for the reasonable people of this country that, it's okay to disagree on things and, we can talk a little smack about each other, but at the end of the day, we're all on the same team.
I wonder where that whole breaking bread thing came from.
Jesus.
That's a good answer because that's true.
No, it's true.
It was so quick. I can't believe it came from you.
Not you're choking over
No,
there.
this man grew up a Catholic.
That came from Jesus.
He knows the breaking bread.
Break
He
bread.
knows the dipping it into wine. He understands this
Yes, so
concept.
technically the Jews did it.
Technically,
that's correct.
Yeah. You have to wonder if Kid Rock was nervous that if things went south with Trump and he would be the scapegoat. Let's see.
It was very nerve-wracking for me leading up to it because I'm like, what if this goes terrible and things go sideways? It ruins a lot of my credibility with someone I consider a dear friend, the president. But my heart was totally 100% pure going into this, just trying to do the right thing. And Bill totally got it. Bill's like, Bob, I'm not going to sabotage something that could potentially bring us and maybe this country closer together. I was like, Mr. President, he totally gets it. And these guys, my mind was blown. That's all I can say is just how well they got along. We talked about things we had in common. The president, gave us a great tour of the White House again, even the private residence. It was just, and then he even called me later that night. Me and Dana went out after to, smoke a cigar and just catch up. And
love that.
Must have been closer to midnight. The president called me and he thought it went great.
God, I love that pause.
Did you notice how when in talking second person Bill Maher, he said Bob.
Yeah, of course.
I know. I just didn't.
Well,
I wouldn't think he would refer to himself or repeat that.
Everybody knows his real name.
Yeah,
I understand, but I mean, now these
His name's not Kid?
No. That's that's simply a moniker that he made for himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See what we learn.
Are you sure, Ralph? Are you sure you're not a tard?
We learn things on this show. Kid Rock, who wore a hideous, faggy, Evel Knievel style suit to the White House meeting, was asked to share a behind-the-scenes story about the gathering. Oh, incidentally, the Dana Kid Rock refers to is Dana White, the CEO of Ultimate Fighting,
Badass.
and a really good dude. And here's Kid Rock. Let's go.
Here's a fun story. So I was in the Oval Office with that outfit on, and so I brought a change of clothes for dinner. That thing was very hot. So I was changing clothes, but Dana told me, he goes, He goes, Bobby missed it. When Bill Maher walked into the Oval Office, he said he looked pretty nervous, this, that, and the other. And, the president said something to him real nice, and Bill's like, I need a drink. He said, I want a margarita, and the president had his people grab a margarita, and I grabbed a beer, and, man, we had a great time.
Pause. How much do you love that?
Here's kid having a beer.
I'm really. Why would you ask for a margarita?
No. Hey, Ralph, you and I are on the same page. Here's what I'm thinking. You know what I would like right now? Little Pappy 30-year-old.
Thank you.
Little Pappy 30-year-old.
Let's call Rick. Let's call Rick.
And the funny, what is our producer talking about? Anyone?
If you want Pappy, we call Rick.
I'm out of the doghouse.
No one knows who Rick is.
Nobody knows who Rick Dees is.
Nobody knows.
You talk about him every day.
Oh, Rick Dees. Okay, yes. Because Rick Dees on his farm in Kentucky. Yeah, I didn't even get it. But if you don't say Rick Dees, I don't know who the hell you're talking about.
I did say Dees, but as I was saying it, you said,
no, you did not.
Rick?
No, you did not.
No, you did not.
Let's not get caught up in the weeds here. I don't want to screw over the audience even more than we've already done today. But yeah, Rick Dees, he's on his farm. It's the corn or the wheat.
It's corn.
Yeah,
Wheat.
it's
the
corn.
wheat.
I think it's the corn.
It's the corn, Marty.
He told me corn.
$50.
I think it's corn.
$50.
Okay, no,
I'm not
no.
going to bet you.
Because he doesn't pay his bet.
Because he was on our show.
Martin never pays.
He was on our show
Never
about
pays his bets.
3 weeks ago. He said wheat.
I think it's corn.
It's corn.
All right.
100% corn.
But anyway, on Rick Dees' farm, they don't make. They grow this incredible corn or / wheat for one of the greatest bourbons of all time, known as Pappy Van Winkle, which can cost upwards of $10,000 a bottle. And wouldn't it have been fun to say Pappy, because I guarantee you they don't have it there in the White House.
No. I guarantee they do.
What?
Yes. I guarantee there is everything you can imagine.
They
it's
have
like
it stocked?
Wonkaland.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think they
Welcome to my
have that?
factory.
That's right.
They have that stock there?
Yes.
They have an everlasting gosstopper.
They do. They're the only ones that do.
Okay, I'm gonna set up a meeting. That's it, man. If I can get, you know what? If I can get my Pappy that way by visiting Trump, it's like the visit with Trump. It's like, okay, that's
who
all,
cares?
That's
I
all
just
right.
need some Pappy.
Yeah, how about a little Pappy? And then they'll bring out a small snifter, and I'll say, no. What are you, nuts?
Say
What is Rick Dees back there pouring this?
I was going to say, what about the other Rick?
Kid Rock was. Did I already go through that? Hold on. There's one more here.
We're in the middle of a clip, I think.
Hold on.
We are.
Kid Rock was asked how he thought Bill Maher will talk about President Trump on his talk show now that they have spent time together. And Kid Rock said this, my friend.
I think he's going to say nice things about the president. No, he's not going to have a MAGA hat on, and he's probably not going to vote. I believe he is going to go on his show and say nice things. I think he's going to say that we still don't agree politically. It really freaks out Bill when people are talking about a third term, this, that, and the other. He brought that up, and the president, they talked about it a little bit. That was something that's, I would consider private. I feel uncomfortable sharing that. If the president wanted to, he could. But, we basically stuck to things that we agreed on. And they both have extremely deep knowledge of American history. Both very smart guys and, very reasonable people, even though they've had this, pretty harsh relationship. It was a cool, I'm like, if they can do it, maybe that family member you have with that you disagree with, that's divided you politically, or that someone, is social standing with a neighbor or somebody, maybe you can, go back and be like, hey, man, let's have dinner and talk about what we do have in common.
I got to tell you, that Bob is a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, he is, man. That Kid Rock, a.k.a. Bob. Yeah, what a good man.
It goes back to him and Sean Penn because Sean was his neighbor.
I know, and politically they're on two sides of the thing, but they got along. They got along. And Kid Rock, I think, is one of those guys who was politically for many, many years just on the fence. He's like, liberal this way, on the right this way, but things got so ugly and stupid here in the United States of America that he finally said, that's it, man. What are we doing there?
Just playing a little Kid Rock.
Oh yeah,
I think it's cool.
Just a little taste. I love this man.
I think it's cool.
Hit me now. Come on. Oh, smack me.
Our president.
Yeah. Smack that ass. Louder.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
Let's see that voice. Boy, he's a foul mouth, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
Gee.
I just don't know why he didn't call himself Bob
So
Hart.
Rick Dees owns Sweet Prairie Farms, which is the grower of CBD oil and also corn.
But by the way, I have
It
corn.
was never wheat. It was never wheat.
No, it was corn.
$50, Marty.
Play that show. No, you didn't bet me. Play that show back.
But by the way, regardless whether you bet him or not, you're never going to see the money.
Yeah,
that's true. Anyway,
he still owes me $2,000 from a bet, and he just.
I find it.
Doesn't he owe you $2,000 from a plane ticket too?
Well, that was my undoing because I was an idiot and thought that he would be because he said, "Oh, I'd love to go to New York," and so I booked the whole thing, and I lost $2,000 on that. That's true. And finally, before we go to break,
Before we just smash me completely.
Peter Ducey, everyone is talking about Kid Rock's Evil Knievel style suit that he wore to the White House.
God bless
Listen to Fox News, Peter Ducey, who, by the way, how do you not love that guy? Well, if you're on the left, you hate the guy. But I love this Peter Ducey. Listen to him talk about Kid Rock's suit.
If I can do news conferences like this, Peter, I don't think.
No. He was never standing next to somebody who looked like they were about to be shot out of a cannon.
How do you not love that? Play that again. I just want to hear him say this again. This is the best.
If I can do news conferences like this, Peter, I don't think.
No. He was never standing next to somebody who looked like they were about to be shot out of a cannon.
And that's exactly how Kid Rock looked.
Looked like Evil Knievel.
Oh, God. Oh, I love that. Oh, Peter Ducey.
Remember what I love, just really quickly, is our president is friends with a huge rock star.
And the CEO of Ultimate Fighting.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we got the right guy in charge. I give this 6 weeks to 2 months that this tariff thing is going to shake out, and it may even happen quicker than that.
Yeah,
Being that you're usually right, I am from your lips to God's ears because I am
Usually?
getting crushed right now.
You're not getting crushed because
No,
you're not
relax.
cashing out.
I am
You're
not cashing out.
That's the deal. And by the way, good time to buy stock.
Yeah.
Good time to buy stock, my friends. We'll be this after back. A lot to get to next on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
I've gone to ground. I'm watching porn in my hotel dressing gown. And now I dream of you, but I still believe there's only enough for one in a lonely hotel suite. The journey's long, and I feel so bad. I'm thinking back to the last day we had. Old moon fades into the night. Soon I know I'll be back with you. I'm nearly with you. I'm nearly with you. When I'm weak, I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's destiny. On a clear day, I'll fly home to you. I'm bending time, I'm getting back to you. Old fades into the night. Soon I know I'll be back with you. I'm nearly with you. I'm nearly with you. When I'm weak, I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I lie awake, I've gone to ground. I'm watching porn in my hotel dressing gown. And now I dream of you.
Arbitron and search rated #1.
This is Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, the man who is always right. All right, there's going to be some jam-packedness in the next few minutes here on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, and the finest stations in the country. First, I'm minding my own business, and I walked over there that way, and an email from an undisclosed person who happens to have my personal email address.
Was it from me?
No, it wasn't from you.
Okay.
I don't. It doesn't say. It does not say Ralph Odierna on this. It says, "Hey, what's up with Mary Stoner of upstate New York ripping on the show in the YouTube comment sections?"
Oh, she's a bitter woman.
Now, Mary Stoner has been a fan of this show for many, many years, and she sort of commandeered the comment section on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed quite yet on YouTube, please do, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. You can also find us on kamalato.us. But hey, what's up with Mary Stoner of upstate New York ripping on the show in the YouTube comments section? Comments like, quote, "It hasn't been interesting in a while," and
Actually,
quote, actually what?
Actually,
that was the end of her comment. It hasn't been.
Jesus, just let me do it. Just let me do a show without throwing in stupid crap like actually.
How hard can it be?
It hasn't been interesting in a while, and, quote, "well, not yet," when someone said it's going to be an interesting show. Friggin' Eeyore, stop being a downer. We happen to have Mary Stoner from upstate New York on the phone. Please address these comments, Mary Stoner.
How do you know it was me?
A little loud. Please address these comments, Mary Stoner.
Little soft.
just a big goose.
I didn't turn her all the way down.
No, I know. Mary Stoner, is it you that says it hasn't been interesting in a while? Is that because we don't have the man that you adore, Ryan Stiles, on the show in quite some time? And then she also comments, "well, not yet." So why would you, who should be a fan and a proponent of Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, and someone who wants to spearhead the love and passion of this show, why would you be saying it hasn't been interesting in a while and well, not yet? When someone said it is going to be an interesting show. So there are positives, and then you are taking it from a positive, and Eeyore is being a downer.
Lost my tail again.
Lost her tail and is being a downer. So explain this to me. Bad day? I mean, what is it? You shouldn't let things that happen in your life affect how you affect those who love this show in our comment section on YouTube.
Well, I think it stems from the fact that the people in the chat are feeling left out.
They're feeling left out.
What does that have to do with it's folks who are looking forward to the show, and you say it hasn't been interesting in a while? Explain to me.
Well, I think that we gave them an opportunity to be involved, and that didn't go over.
Are we supposed to respond to every damn chat room thing?
Here's the thing. I can only be so harsh to Mary Stoner because I'll show you this.
It's a bad
on
day at
camera.
Sherwood Forest.
Because this was a nice birthday present. This is a bullet-proof Trump glass, and so I can only be so harsh. But so you really have no response, right?
I do have a response.
Then give it up.
What?
Then please give us your response.
I think that I addressed to you ways to involve the gang that listens to the show, that is in the chat, and that hasn't happened.
This has not been about addressing those in the chat, but performing a show which is a radio show first, and then we just happen to be on YouTube, on Rumble, and on X.
I didn't say address the people in the chat. You have to put your listening ears on. That's not what I said.
Okay, what did you hold on? What did you hear, Ralph?
I heard her saying that the people in the chat aren't involved.
Right.
But they are
Thank
because
you,
they're
Ralph.
chatting.
You're right.
No, but now the chats have turned into chatting about football. They're not chatting about what's happening on the show.
I don't know why you won't turn on your mic.
I turned it off because he was interrupting you.
Okay, then turn it back on, please.
Why are these people listening to our show talking about sports? And if they want to go to a sports channel,
No, I don't care what they talk about.
Exactly. And here's a good example. My mother.
I don't care. As long as they're having a good time, man.
My mother.
Marty, is this relevant?
Hold on.
No, it's not,
That's
Mary.
why I turned it off.
Mary, shut up, Dave.
No, you started. You
Don't
just
ever do that
Okay,
again.
Mark,
I can't
go.
believe I'm on Mary's side.
So
this
my
is not
mother,
relevant.
Shut up, Ralph. It is relevant. Shut the F up, and you'll know that
All right,
it's relevant.
go.
So our mother, about 2 months ago, said, Marty, I'm on a chat room, and I comment. I never get a comment back, or she felt left out. She started going to the comment page on YouTube.
Right.
And then she started getting replies.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, that's the way you do it if you want to get a response from us.
Yeah.
It's not the live chat. You guys have a happy day, a good day doing it."
This is not, Mary. Let me explain this. This is not about This is not about stroking a handful of people in the chat. Even though I love them for listening and watching the show, but this is not about stroking them or being involved. But regardless of that, this comment from you, it hasn't been interesting in a while. You mean you're referring to the chat room or the show?
I'm sorry. It's just the TMS, I guess.
I have all the chats here, Matt. I can read what it was in response to. And
Okay, what? Quick.
it was Steve Abbott saying, "Mary, we missed you last week. The show was interesting," and she responded, "It hasn't been interesting in a while."
Whoa! Well, that's sort of blasphemy. There's no two ways you can take that, right? There's no two ways.
Right.
So you're busted. Accept it. And what do you have to say for yourself, Mary Stoner?
I say that, we could change a few things, but you don't listen to me, so.
Give me one example. Give me one item that we can change. Go.
I said that we could bring the guest book back, and I have a way to do that, and, that didn't happen, so.
I do miss the guest book.
Yeah, I do too.
The guest book was a good feature. It was fun.
in Mary's
to read the
defense,
comments.
But once
you missed the guest book.
But once again, you're saying that because everyone loved to pile on my brother on
No,
the
the guest book was awesome. I do miss the guest book.
I don't know about Ralph, but I missed the ditch digger comments. And
Yeah, they're throwing you under the bus.
Oh, of course, because Mary likes to do. She piles on. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we bring, but the guest book is through our website, which is not maintained whatsoever, and nobody goes to the website. So
Well,
how-
maybe Mary can do the website.
So maybe if we just simply have a guest.
No, because you said something about Instagram. You are on Instagram. You have been on Instagram.
No, he's
Every
not.
time I post,
He is.
every time I post on the Outlaw Radio fan page, it goes right to Instagram.
Really?
So you
I'm on there
already
every day and
there.
I don't see it.
I'm not supposed to be on Instagram. I
were
don't-
when Danielle put you on there.
I don't know what's going on. Boy, you talk about a great broad who screwed me over,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Only
You're not
because.
the only one she screwed over.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't. Whatever,
He's correct.
Whatever happened there, I still remain a huge fan of Danielle.
I don't.
You like her boobs.
No. I'll tell you what I like. I love her intuitiveness and her cleverness when it comes to social media. She's got her act together. All right, Mary, you're off the hook. I love you.
No, but I was going to say, Matt, that if you say the word, I will put the guest book
Good,
on the Outlaw
good.
Radio fan page.
Oh,
and
yes.
we'll just have
Oh,
to print off the comments.
Oh, you mean on Facebook? We do it on Facebook. Yes. Okay. Let's go. So from now on, how do they find the Outlaw Radio fan page, which is garnering more and more support?
I have to let Rick know that you want to do it.
Holy
Rick.
shit. Okay. Goodbye. That's enough. I love her, but goodbye. Am I talking in another language
No,
here?
you were talking to a woman.
Correct.
You mean the people that over-explain stuff?
Yeah.
Have to throw in James and.
I just said go. I said go on our fan page on Facebook. Yes.
Now she's there.
But she's right, and she's right, and it's an excellent idea.
Yes.
So let's do that.
Matt,
Okay.
she's in Buffalo, New York, going. I hate him.
She's not in She's not in Buffalo.
She
New
does,
York.
she does a lot. She does a lot for us, and she has come up with some good ideas. which-
President Trump reportedly signed a list of insults he previously said about Bill Maher when the comedian presented them during his recent trip to the White House. As we were just discussing with Kid Rock being there, the reported meeting was discussed during a recent segment of The Five on Fox News. Greg Gutfeld showed how divided Americans can come together and have a laugh. Bill, when he showed up at the White House, he actually brought a list of insults Trump had said about him and gave it to Trump. And what did Trump do with it? He signed it and gave it back.
Here's an executive order, Bill.
Oh, I love that. And the city of, I love that, Trump. And the city of, you have to have a thick skin and a sense of humor and love America. Then you, my friends, will be on the same page as we here in this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada style bar, loving the great Donald Trump. The city of Philadelphia was just renamed a street after actor Will Smith. And just like Will Smith, the street goes both ways. Will Smith has a comeback. That's the rumor. You've heard that, right,
Yes,
Ralph?
I have.
Okay. Will Smith's career has sort of been flatlined since he smacked Chris Rock at the Oscars a few years ago, but he's not given up. Will just released a new song, doubling down and playing the victim, because that'll fix everything. Right, Will?
Feel like I'm just getting started. They tried to finish me. I'm like the universe, infinite. There's no end in me. This is the bounce back. Watch Will, y'all. This is the bounce back. Here come the bounce back. Keep your eyes on him. This is the bounce back.
What's with the grunting?
I have no idea.
What's, no truth to the rumor that Will recorded this masterpiece while sitting on the toilet. This is the worst piece of crap I think ever heard. Play it again. It's only 20 seconds. Do it again.
Feel like I'm just getting
Am I
started.
wrong here?
They tried
No,
to
you're not.
finish me. I'm like the universe, infinite. There's no end in me. This is the bounce back. Watch Will, y'all. This is the bounce back. Here come the bounce back. Keep your eyes on him. This is the bounce back.
Wow, faggy.
No kidding. Look, and maybe I think Dave can agree with this. I've been in hundreds of bar fights, schoolyard fights, and all this, and I'm sure Dave has as well.
Oh, yeah.
No man has ever slapped me. I have been slapped by many women.
Yes. Of course. Oh, yeah. Well, how about spat upon?
Right.
Yeah, that one.
But no
that's a
man has
classic.
ever, slapped me.
Right.
I've been slapped by a man.
No, you've been slapped by someone who thinks they're a man.
Right, right.
No, but it's not, well, yeah.
No, he's talking about his bedroom things, and that's just not
transgender.
No, I'm actually not.
Dave, have you ever slapped a man?
Never in my
I
life.
have never slapped a man.
If I'm taking aim, I'm knocking you out.
Right?
I'm not slapping you.
Well, no, but you know what? On the other
Yeah,
hand,
I
though-
don't think a heterosexual male slaps
well,
another man.
Yeah, but Matt, how about this? If you're in a
Stop
street, if you're in a street fight, I will bite. I will.
Okay,
grab
we're
their
not talking
hair.
about that.
Here
We're
we
talking
go.
about slapping.
More of Marty's bedroom antics.
More of Marty's
Biting.
bedroom antics.
All right,
You're
and,
jealous, Dave. Hide your jealousy.
Yeah, I'm jealous of your gay antics in the bedroom.
Hey, by the way,
Stupid
we
ass.
have another 2 minutes, and I've got a lot to get to in this 2 minutes.
we have a Joe Kennedy
And
moment?
when we come back from this 2 minutes, Tim Burchett, you know who this is? U.S. representative. This is one of the greats. This is one of the great little bits. We're not going to. I just said 2 minutes.
I thought you said when we come
So
back.
so now it's like 80 seconds, but I did I not say Ralph?
You said we have 2 minutes,
Right.
And then after that, when we come back,
Right. So I thought we were going to do it after when we come
No,
back.
it's
Whatever. Just keep going.
Wow.
Canadian-born Neil Young, who happens to be my best friend John Albie's favorite artist, much to my chagrin. Neil Young is worried he may be barred from returning to the U.S. by President Donald Trump's administration after his upcoming European tour, lamenting his outspokenness against Trump may make him a target for summary retribution.
Oh God.
Neil Young.
Old man, take a look at my life. I'm
Just
alive
for
like you were.
no reason, Neil. I'm sorry. That's the only time a judge should hear.
You're right.
Step in and say, "Well, you're a little out of line here, Donald." And Val Kilmer, Top Gun, Heat, Batman. Gone at 65. He's been sick for a long time. He got really, really heavy and sort of a nutty guy. I know this because we shared a publicist. My publicist was his publicist, and he was all about saving the trees, but couldn't save his own life. But one hell of an actor.
Yes, sir.
And nobody was better in that friggin'
Tombstone.
And he was a great coxman too.
Really?
Yeah, he betted some of the Hollywood's hottest. bands.
yeah.
Well,
I can tell you stories.
For that alone, Val Kilmer, rest in peace. We'll be this
Rest in
after
peace,
back on
brother.
Matthew Matt's Outlaw Radio.
now we return to Outlaw Radio's Demons of Decadence.
Well, it appears old queer pop sensation Chappelle Roan, who was on, I think she was on stage with Elton John at his party, the Oscar party recently. All of my friends who have kids are in hell. Chappelle Roan claimed all her friends who have children are in hell. Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know. I just throw it out there. Do with that info whatever you want. And Florida Representative Byron Donald questioned sanctuary city mayors, including Boston's Michelle Wu. That's W-U, not to be confused with the Wu in Whoopi. Whoopi. Or the Har in Bill Maher.
Or the drink in the 1980s, the Woo Woo.
Which is a completely different.
Oh, it is.
Wasn't that a tinky drink?
No, it was like a little shot we used to drink, the Woo Woo.
Or the Wu in Wuhan.
But this Michelle Wu, who she hosts No Whites Allowed city Christmas parties. She really does this. Florida Representative.
How does Santa Claus go?
Byron Donald questioned sanctuary city mayors, and including Michelle Wu, and it went like this.
Sorry.
Hey. Wow.
Loser.
Don't see it.
Loser.
Well, it'll be okay. And by the way, we can go a little long here because I'll edit all this stuff out. But this is for you on YouTube and for those of you watching us. It's at the bottom of your page since we went through every other thing else on your page.
Okay. I'll play the bottom of my page.
Shut up.
No, I'll play the bottom of my page.
And
right now.
shut up. And it says Byron, and it says Byron Donalds. It says it right here. It says Byron Donalds here. Maybe they can see this.
Oh, that's at the bottom of the page.
Yeah. Because
well, it's the end of the show.
Because,
right.
Yeah, because we played everything else, and
That's all that's left.
That's all that's left.
So all that's left is you would then glance down, right? And well, what? Hey, Matt, what haven't we played? Oh, well, wait. And you said you said Byron Donalds, and then it's at the bottom of the page. It's one of those things you haven't.
You were going with Michelle Wu and Wu and Wu and Wu, and I'm looking for Wu.
And it went like this.
Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024, roughly the same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because we don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the last 4 years.
That's why you're a failing
which
mayor.
is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much
sent
did the
from
city
us
of New
from
York
the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson, I already asked you. You don't have a hard number, and if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
$6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city of Boston has spent on illegal immigration?
We
Are
don't
you out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep
Mayor
our city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage
we
your
have
budget or
the
not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So
for
to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city
of
of Boston
the city of
is
Boston.
sick of
I'm
having people
reclaiming my
outside
time.
Boston.
And I would argue that America has to choose between securing our nation or protecting the taxpayer. I choose secure the nation. I yield back.
I got to tell you that Byron Donalds, nicely done, and another nicely done to Tim Burchett, who is U.S. Representative of Tennessee, has a reporter who likes to stalk him, and it seems like Burchett has simply had enough.
Do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our war plans top secret?
You trust your mother every night to fix your Hot Pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on.
Oh, Jimmy, I gotta say, Tennessee rocks, man. One more time. I want to hear this. This is Tim Burchett.
Do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our war plans top secret?
You trust your mother every night to fix your hot pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on.
Make sure your Game Boy's turned on.
Oh, it is the best. It is the best. Billy Dilly out there over the steeping the fire of barbecue coals. Thank you, our Marine. Love that man. Hoorah. Tattoo Dave, our producer on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. My brother,
Marty.
Mart. Ralph Odierna.
Here and present.
Mark C.G. Boyer out doing...
Why would you include Mark C.G. Boyer now?
Mark C.G. Boyer out doing family things. And
that's funny.
Hey, by the way, Pete, Pete. I want to thank Pete in Oregon. Couldn't have done it without you. I want to thank Steve Abbott. Could have done it without you, but would rather have you a part of the show. Mary, upstate New York.
Get over your anger.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Be
and
happy.
Of course, our lovely people from What's Up, Wassa, Tony and Beth, love you. Mom and Dad, love you dearly. My daughter, Alexandra, a million times around the world. As my buddy, Milt Larson, says, bumblebees can't fly.